Chapter 1621. In Chen Zhang's impression, the devil-killing summit should be an invincible existence. The white and holy light that the entire enormous mountain emitted made him feel a kind of reverence, and today, it had all become black. Do you know why the devil-killing summit was turned black? Chen Shang frowned. He wanted to ask Bai Yaowei and LV Zhen about the situation, they were all from the devil-killing summit. I'm not sure. In short, many of the 9 heaven worlds transmission arrays that lead to DTN have been shut down to prevent the night devil from invading this place, and only the transmission array built within many great powers are still in use. In these 9 days, all those great powers have large areas of influence. Long Huishan said, it's just that I don't know when that group of night devil will erupt. Chen Shang had already realized that the Hell Devil Emperor knew that the plan of the 5 Sky Region Emperors had failed and did not start a large-scale war. Some of the Night Devils were not controlled by the Demon Emperor, but it seemed like they were going to ally with the 5 great heavenly regions. This made Chen Shang a little confused, as he had been wanting to capture all those Night Devils and bring them back. We have yet to confirm if the 5 great heavenly regions and the Night Devil are really allied. Right now, we are only guessing, because they have already teamed up once before. Long Huishan patted Chen Zhang's shoulder. Previously, there had been a large number of Night Devil outside the Evil Dragon Graveyard. Yes, continue your investigations. Night Devil Hell has always been suppressed by Devil Killing Summit, and now that Devil Killing Summit has only turned black, it does not mean that it has been annihilated. If Night Devil really leaves Night Devil Hell, it would be very hard to control them. Chen Shang replied, when the time comes, they will probably counterattack together. Long Huishan nodded his head. After a while, Devil-suppressing Heavenly Venerable will gather all the leaders of the major powers, and they will probably discuss about this matter. The elders are all here. I need to go talk to them. After Long Huishan left, Dongfang Jing sighed. It's about to be a fight again, I don't like it at all. Me too, Shen Lingling said. Don't worry, when the time comes, I won't let you go on stage. You just need to stay here and be responsible for refining. Shui Shenxian laughed. I don't really like fighting or killing, but Yulin and Chen Xiang should like it. Lu Meng'er walked over to Chen Zhang's side and softly said, if you have something to say, then go and busy yourself first. I'm not busy. I'll accompany you for a few days before leaving. Chen Shang smiled. Chen Shang accompanied Shui Shenxian and the others at the Ice Dragon Villa for a few days before returning to the Heavenly Dragon Realm. You're back so soon, why don't you accompany them for a while? Long Shui smiled ambiguously. Looks like you've been living quite happily these past few days, huh? Long Shui wrinkled his nose and laughed. Shenxian and Meng'er have the heaviest fragrance. This master and disciple pair has been taken care of by you. Quote. Chen Shang did not waste time speaking with her, and said, Devil Killing Summit has turned black, Night Devil Hell is very unstable at that place, isn't Hell Devil Emperor unable to control that place? Devil Killing Summit has turned black. Long Shui was in disbelief. Devil Killing Summit should be very powerful, turning black means that the place has already been contaminated by the strong demon's power. There's a gap in Night Devil Hell's base. It's very difficult to capture those vengeful spirits that escaped from there, and the Hell Devil Emperor can't leave Hell himself, so he can't be bothered with that place. However, the Infernal Guards under his command can, but those Infernal Guards are still quite powerful. Even if the Infernal Guards are powerful, it would still be difficult to tame those powerful vengeful spirits that escaped. Especially after training, they would become stronger, and some of them would even become stronger than some of the strong of Lord Stage S. Chen Shang asked, so you're saying, the Night Devil Hell and the 5 great regions won't join hands? Long Shui thought for a moment, then shook his head. That's not necessarily so, as long as there's enough profit to drive them, the devils in charge of Night Devil Hell will definitely be willing to do so. Qi Shi, the White Tiger's revival, and the devil-suppressing Heavenly Venerable's incredible strength. There's still no movement from there, right? Not yet. I will ask Elder Sister about the situation regularly. Chen Shang said. Right now, I need to find LV Kilian and have her pass on the alive slain methods cultivation experience to me. Also, I need to ask her and see if she can find out anything. Just like last time, Chen Shang only used a strand of his soul to find LV Kilian, and that way, he could go there quietly and not be discovered by others. If he went to LV Kilian openly, it would be rather troublesome, and he was worried that LV Kilian would not see him. Chen Zhang's strand of soul was only left after being lightly touched by the array formation, but he had used the power of space to go through the array formation and the array formation, allowing his soul to easily enter the Hundreds of Flowers Palace. However, not long after he entered the Hundreds of Flowers Palace, he felt a strong surge of spiritual energy attacking him. "Sister Kilian, it's me. Please have mercy." Chen Shang anxiously used his spirit chi to send a message. If a strand of his spirit was destroyed, that would consume a lot of his spirit chi. It would be best to avoid it. "You're always sneaking around, aren't you, in the Ice Dragon Villa? If you were to personally come, you would die." Chen Zhang's delicate voice came from within Chen Zhang's mind. "I'm in the Heavenly Dragon Realm, I think this is good, I don't need to see each other to communicate." Chen Shang laughed. "Your cultivation in the divine way is increasing quite quickly, you've discovered me already." LV Kilian was silent for a moment. She knew clearly that the reason she was able to improve so quickly was because of Chen Shang, but at that time, she had cultivated the God's join method with her, causing the relationship between her and Chen Shang to become extremely subtle. That kind of mental integration made it difficult for her to differentiate between real and fake, causing her to have a complicated feeling towards Chen Shang that was hard to describe. "This is all thanks to you." LV Kilian sighed. "You're afraid that I won't meet you." Chen Shang was indeed worried. He had forcefully cultivated the God's join method with LV Kilian back then. Seeing that Chen Shang did not answer, LV Kilian asked again, "You think I hate you?" "That's right," Chen Shang replied. LV Kilian sighed. "Why are you looking for me? When I was learning the alive slain method, I encountered many difficulties. I was unable to comprehend them in a short period of time, so I wanted to seek your advice." Chen Shang said. "Enter my divine sense see." Chen Shang had helped her many times, saved her life and little Lizzie's life. As long as Chen Shang asked her for help, no matter how much she hated Chen Shang, she would not reject him. Chen Shang only used that wisp of his soul, it was extremely weak, and entering LV Kilian's divine sense see like this made LV Kilian feel at ease. Chapter 1622. Under LV Kilian's guidance, Chen Shang felt that he had arrived at a sea of flowers and LV Kilian's divine sense CS had also cultivated up to a small world. At this moment, he had arrived at a valley that was filled with colorful plants and the surrounding mountains were filled with beautiful and dazzling flowers. LV Kilian's soul sat atop a white lotus in a lake in the valley. Dressed in a white dress, she seemed to have merged with the huge white lotus, making her look holy and beautiful. "Your divine sense see is really beautiful," Chen Shang praised. As expected, everyone's divine sense see is different, and it has a lot to do with her soul. "I received a lot of inspiration from your divine sense see last time, plus my cultivation with you, so, in an instant, he broke through the bottleneck that had hindered me for many years, advanced by leaps and bounds, and formed his own divine sense see world." LV Kilian moaned softly, her voice was gentle and light, and her expression was relaxed. A while ago, she had truly witnessed many powerful existences in this world. Her father's strength made her feel reverence, and Chen Shang, who was once much weaker than her, had now even surpassed her. Towards Chen Zhang's current strength, she felt a deep reverence from the bottom of her heart. It was because Chen Shang had once saved her when she was very weak and poisoned a holy beast, so the current Chen Shang was even more unfathomable. LV Kilian floated gently towards Chen Shang from atop the bead's gigantic white lotus. "Is your true divine soul still in Heavenly Dragon Realm?" Could it be that my current divine soul is unable to do so?" As Chen Shang looked at LV Kilian's beautiful face, which carried a light smile, although the current LV Kilian no longer had that kind of arrogance, she still gave others a feeling of holiness and inviolability. LV Kilian chuckled. "Are you afraid that my small divine sense see world won't be able to accommodate you?" She then said seriously, "The cultivation experience of the alive slain method is extremely vast, it's difficult for your wisp of soul to be able to contain it all in one go." Chen Shang didn't know why, but when he faced the current LV Kilian, he suddenly felt some pressure. "Fine, I'll have my soul come over right away," Chen Shang said. "Let me out first and confirm my location. My physical body is coming along as well." Physical body. Chen Shang immediately started to let his imagination run wild. "Don't let your imagination run wild," LV Kilian scoffed. "Hurry." Chen Shang left LV Kilian's divine sense see. He was currently in LV Kilian's room, in a secret room that was constructed deep underground. Long Shui saw Chen Shang open his eyes, his forehead was perspiring profusely, so he asked anxiously, "What's wrong?" "Have been abused by the Flower Emperor." Quote. Chen Shang took a deep breath. if you mistreat me, I might feel better, but this woman is too good, and even allowed my body to pass through. Long Shui immediately became excited. Is this for me to devote my life to you? No way, I want to go with you. Stop bullshitting, her father is devil suppressing heavenly venerable, I'm just looking for death. Chen Shang shook her head. Don't think too much about it, she probably just wants to guide me in refining the spirit liquid. Running back and forth all day, how tiring. Chen Shang once again opened up the spatial passageway, and went to LV Kilian's room. Seeing Chen Shang walk over so easily, LV Kilian was a little surprised. Your control of space is way beyond my imagination, my father said that he wouldn't even be able to reach your level. When Chen Shang followed the Dragon Emperor across the space to head to Heavenly Dragon Realm, many of the experts present gasped in surprise. Have you fused with a rule spiritual bead and mastered the laws of space? LV Kilian suddenly thought of something and asked curiously. This was Chen Zhang's secret, he had never told anyone before, but LV Kilian actually knew about it. How do you know? Chen Shang said. Even if my control over space is very strong, you probably won't be able to tell. LV Kilian rolled her eyes as she lowered her head and softly said, last time, when we were cultivating together, I could sense a lot of your things. Quote. Thinking about the God's Join method technique, there were indeed many things that would be exposed if he practiced with LV Kilian. Let's begin, your soul will enter my divine sense C. LV Kilian came to the bedside and sat cross-legged on top of it. Seeing that Chen Shang was standing there unmoving, she urged, hurry and come over. Chen Shang stared blankly at him for a while, then walked over and sat on the bed as well. He closed his eyes, released his divine soul, and entered LV Kilian's divine sense C world, returning to that quiet valley. Your soul is powerful again. LV Kilian could very clearly feel that even her divine sense C world was trembling, because Chen Zhang's divine sense C was simply too strong. Chen Shang immediately suppressed the power of his divine soul. Once he obtained a set of divine deity, his divine soul would naturally become extremely terrifying. Only by using this method can you quickly obtain the experience of my alive slain method, and allow you to use it quickly. LV Kilian said as a beam of white light shot out from between the brows of her divine soul, entering the center of Chen Zhang's brows. Then, she softly said, don't resist, I will do my best to share my memories and thoughts with you. Thank you. Chen Shang was extremely grateful. He knew that LV Kilian had sacrificed a lot like this, because this was equivalent to hiding something in his heart and opening it up to Chen Shang without reservation. Chen Shang suddenly seemed to know what LV Kilian was thinking, but LV Kilian had controlled his thoughts very well, and appeared to be very calm. At this time, something related to the alive slain method suddenly appeared in Chen Zhang's mind, as if it had fused with his memories. Chen Shang saw an extremely beautiful little girl, who was frowning as she faced a cliff. That cliff was the place where Chen Shang had learned the alive slain method. All of the memories between LV Kilian and the alive slain method could make Chen Shang have a deeper and more thorough comprehension of this matter. Those memories flashed past Chen Zhang's mind at lightning speed, but Chen Shang could clearly feel that the little girl had experienced an extremely long period of time. She had gone from a little girl to a slim and graceful young lady, and in the end, she had grown into a mature and charming peerless beauty. A large amount of memories blended into Chen Zhang's sea of consciousness. That was because LV Kilian had thousands of years of experience cultivating alive slain method, and only two people with a strong divine soul could accomplish such a thing with close contact with a divine soul. LV Kilian's memories were very boring and dull, but later on, there was a memory that left a deep impression on Chen Shang. It was when LV Kilian had kissed him in the Absolute Monarch Sanctuary, when his creation divine liquid and LV Kilian's spirit liquid had fused together, and the two of them operated the technique to condense spirit liquid. They had kissed for a very long time, and LV Kilian had actually tried to do it a few times after that. Alright, how much you can harvest will depend on you. LV Kilian's face was a little flushed, because she didn't expect herself to not have hidden that memory of hers, allowing Chen Shang to see it. Chapter 1623. Chen Shang looked at LV Kilian, his heart thumping hard. He did not expect this high and mighty flower emperor to have such a thought about him, which made him excited. The atmosphere was a little awkward. LV Kilian turned his head away and said softly, you can leave my divine sense C. In order to avoid any awkwardness, LV Kilian hurriedly got off the bed. I need a large amount of medicinal ingredients during this time, so you should cultivate properly here. If you have any, come to the training room next door and find me. LV Kilian left the room and sat on the bed, feeling a little disappointed. He shook his head and stopped thinking about the complicated feelings between him and LV Kilian. Little scoundrel, how is it? Have you eaten her yet? Long Shui's voice echoed within Chen Zhang's divine sense. When Chen Shang left the heavenly region, he left a trace of his divine soul within Long Shui's divine sense. What are you thinking? Chen Shang snorted. It's been more than 10 days but nothing happened. Long Shui curled his lips. It's really useless. Chen Shang ignored her and focused on organizing the cultivation experiences that LV Kilian gave him. He and LV Kilian actually went on for more than 10 days. This time, his understanding of the alive slain method was very simple. Previously, many of the difficulties had now been cleared up for him, allowing him to operate the alive slain method very smoothly, absorbing the Holy Spirit Qi outside. Adding to his body and the strange energy in the divine sense Qi, he was able to condense the spirit liquid on his tongue. 1 drop every 2 hours, that's too slow. Chen Shang looked at the transparent drop of spirit liquid that was emitting a faint red light. He had no idea how powerful this spirit liquid was. LV Kilian could condense a lot in 2 hours, she only needed to condense spirit liquid for a month's time. This speed made Chen Shang envious, but for Long Shui's appetite, it was still too slow. Chen Shang walked out of the room and knocked on the door. Come in, LV Kilian shouted lightly. Chen Shang pushed open the door and entered. A burst of fragrance immediately assaulted his nose. This fragrance immediately made Chen Shang remember the last time she kissed LV Kilian, the fragrance of the spirit liquid in her mouth. Sister Kilian, how is the spirit liquid compared to yours? Chen Shang took out a jade box. Inside it was a drop of the spirit liquid he just condensed. LV Kilian sat cross-legged on the carpet. In front of her were a few jade bottles. Inside them were the spirit liquids that she condensed, and a burst of fragrance wafted out. He's as strong as mine. How long did you take to condense 1 drop? LV Kilian nodded his head in satisfaction. 2 hours, Chen Shang said somewhat embarrassedly, because he knew that LV Kilian was much faster than him. That's right, as long as we can get familiar with each other, you'll become like me very soon. LV Kilian returned the drop of spirit liquid to Chen Shang. Chen Shang squatted down and picked up a jade bottle. Looking at the spirit liquid that LV Kilian condensed, he asked, why is there no such fragrance? Is it because you ate too many flowers? Why is it so fragrant? LV Kilian chuckled. This might be related to my physique, if not why would others call me Flower Emperor? The spirit liquid you have right now is exactly the same to me, there's no difference, it's just that the smell is different. Chen Shang shook his head. I don't think so, why don't we mix our powers together and take a look? Last time when Chen Shang fused his creation divine liquid with LV Kilian, they had become extremely far apart, and even LV Kilian found it difficult to understand them. LV Kilian nodded, she also wanted to see what would happen. She took the jade box from Chen Zhang's hands and dripped a drop of her own spirit liquid onto Chen Zhang's drop. The 2 drops actually fused together quickly without any change, but Chen Shang and LV Kilian were frowning. Because when the 2 drops of spirit liquid fuse, even if there was no change, the 1 drop should at least be a little larger, or at least the sum of the 2 drops. Previously, when his creation divine liquid and LV Kilian's spirit liquid fuse, not only would there be a huge change, the other drop would also become a lot larger. But now, when their 2 spirit liquids merged together, it was extremely strange. This is true fusion, Chen Shang said. Add another drop of your spirit liquid. LV Kilian did as he was told, but this drop of water was unable to merge with the previous one, and was rejected. Concentrate 1 more drop, 2 more drops yours, 2 more drops mine, and see if the result is the same. LV Kilian said, if fusing with Chen Zhang's spirit liquid had a huge effect, she would not have to bitterly stay here to cultivate all day. Chen Shang immediately activated a live slain method and started to refine. After 2 hours, he took out a drop of spirit liquid and dripped it into the jade box, fusing it with the drop that LV Kilian had rejected. At this time, there were 2 separate drops inside the jade box. LV Kilian shook the jade box, and when the 2 drops collided, it was as she had expected. It was like 2 grains of rice colliding and then fusing into one, but only as big as one. At this moment, the 4 drops of water had become one, although the water droplets did not become larger. Chen Shang and LV Kilian both knew that these 4 drops of water had been compressed at a high level, and the quality was extremely high. Chen Shang laughed. I already said that our spirit liquids are different. Could it be that this is due to the difference between yin and yang? LV Kilian frowned. He shook the jade box and used his divine power to observe the drop of spirit liquid carefully, then said, "Let me try and see how effective this thing is." She took out a piece of jade dragon flower pendant and wanted to use the jade dragon flower to try it. If it was only my spirit liquid, I would normally need 1,000 drops in order for this petal to turn into a complete jade dragon flower. It's the most mature type, with 10 petals. LV Kilian said. Chen Shang said, "We only have 4 drops, it's better to use some low-grade medicinal ingredients." LV Kilian shook his head. After fusing, it won't only be 4 drops, according to my speculations, the effect should be at least 20 to 30 times the original, which is equivalent to around 100 drops. If I can create a single petal, it would prove that my speculations were correct. In this regard, LV Kilian had a lot of experience. She, a woman, relied on these spirit liquids to establish this strong hundreds of flowers palace. LV Kilian dropped the petal inside the jade box and dripped it into the 4-in-1 spirit liquid. After dropping it onto it, a petal quickly appeared beside the root of the flower petal. So it's like that. With the 2 of us working together, it won't be long before your seed sprouts. LV Kilian's eyes burned with excitement. Don't you have a seed that can lead to the heaven realm when it is planted? That heaven realm is full of strange flowers and herbs. Back then, when Chen Shang gave the seed to LV Kilian, he also gave it back to him later on. Chapter 1624. Chen Shang didn't even have a good impression of the heavenly regions. Did you forget that you and little Lizzie almost lost your lives in that absolute monarch sanctuary the other time? Chen Shang shook her head. If that heaven realm has the same large amount of strange flowers and herbs as the legends, then the beasts or humans there would definitely be even more powerful. So, for us to head to that place, it would be best to wait until everything is prepared. Yes, LV Kilian wanted to go with Chen Shang. Chen Shang had a lot of schemes and her strength was strong, so following him would definitely be very safe. But if Chen Shang didn't want to go now, there was nothing she could do. Chen Shang said, "Sister Kilian, why don't we work together for a while and fuse a bit more spirit liquid? This way, we can speed up the production of a large number of high-grade herbs. Right now, I need a large batch of Immortal grade 2nd rank, 3rd rank, and 4th rank medicinal ingredients." "What is the high-class medicinal ingredient that you are talking about?" LV Kilian asked. Chen Shang laughed. "It's above Immortal grade 7, but I don't have it right now, only Sacred Animal Fruit S and Tianlong Dan S that can grow. Right now, I can condense 10 drops in 2 hours. You have to catch up to my speed first." LV Kilian said. "Those above Immortal grade 7 are extremely rare, but I can still purchase them." Chen Shang nodded. "I'll cultivate here with you." He took out a dozen or so holy stone S and placed them around him. This could provide them with more holy spirit chi. Chen Shang had already guessed that Chen Shang would have a great harvest from the absolute monarch sanctuary, and these holy stone were what she needed the most. These holy stone were taken out by you from the dragon vein, or perhaps from that absolute monarch sanctuary. LV Kilian also wanted to know how the evolution of Chen Zhang's dragon vein was progressing. "It's been a long time since I've returned to the evil dragon graveyard. Even without me, that place can still function normally, reducing the reliance on me and making the dragon subduing school even more hardworking and powerful." Chen Shang laughed. Although it looked like he was trying to find an excuse to be lazy, over the years, dragon subduing school did not rely on his support to become very strong, so in the future, even without him, dragon subduing school would not become weak. The 2 of them started to condense spirit liquid, and without realizing it, Chen Shang released his spirit. He felt that it was kind of boring and wanted to walk around to CDTN's hundreds of flowers palace. "Focus, catch up to my speed," LV Kilian shouted softly. Upon sensing the power of Chen Zhang's divine soul, her divine soul couldn't help but tremble, as if their divine soul only knew of a miraculous connection. "It's just that I'm not familiar enough. After I get familiar with you, I should be able to catch up to you." Chen Shang used his soul to communicate with LV Kilian. "Sister Kilian, are you using this spirit liquid to let the Holy Spirit Rabbit reproduce? I heard that the Holy Spirit Rabbit are extremely difficult to reproduce." Mu Shuilian, after Mu Jialan and her daughter joined the Hundreds of Flowers Palace, I had a secret talk with them. After a few attempts, I used a large amount of spirit liquid and finally produced 7. When LV Kilian spoke of this matter, he became a little agitated. Those Holy Spirit rabbit are actually not holy beasts, but a top-notch holy level elixir. Chen Shang was suspicious before, so he smiled and said, "Doesn't that mean that the women of your hundreds of flowers palace can rely on their strong physical bodies to dominate us in the future?" That is not it. To be able to unleash the effects of the Holy Spirit rabbit's blood is not something anyone can do. But if you work hard to cultivate, are willing to work hard, and are ambitious people, you can use the Holy Spirit rabbit's blood. If you only want to rely on the Holy Spirit rabbit's blood, being lazy in terms of cultivation is completely useless. L.V. Kilian said, "Snow Lotus and the other two are very experienced with the use of Jade Rabbit blood, so I arranged for them to choose the appropriate disciples and then secretly use Jade Rabbit blood to cultivate. I haven't seen them in a long time. I really want to go look for them now." Chen Shang laughed. "Their bodies should be powerful now." Of course. L.V. Kilian suddenly opened his eyes with a strange expression on his face. "Your relationship with the three of them seems to be pretty good." "It's just a relationship of friendship, someone worth trusting." Chen Shang laughed. "Why are you so sensitive?" L.V. Kilian snorted. "Then what about the beautiful goddess? She seems to also have an unclear relationship with you. Don't recklessly harm my hundreds of flowers palace's disciples." "The beautiful goddess is also my friend, so of course I wouldn't dare to do anything to her." "Ji Mixian's background is quite impressive, didn't she tell you before?" Chen Shang asked. "No, I also know that she has a strong background. But she said that you and her are very close, and Phoenix King strongly recommended her, so Shui Ying that girl said some good words for her." At this time, L.V. Kilian became more and more interested in Ji Mixian's identity. "Can you tell me about her?" Thought for a moment. "This is still up to her. When you're looking for her, tell her that I told you to go ask her. It seems that your relationship with her is even closer than I imagined." L.V. Kilian said. "Just like you and me, or Qinlian and I, we can trust each other, but we don't have that kind of relationship." Chen Shang laughed. "Bastard." L.V. Kilian scolded lightly. "Did you treat my hundreds of flowers palace as your imperial harem?" Chen Shang laughed heartily. "So you're saying that you're helping me manage the palace master of the imperial harem? You said so yourself." L.V. Kilian's face was a little red. Within her hundreds of flowers palace, there were many girls who had good relations with Chen Shang, and they were all extremely outstanding. Even she had that kind of indescribable relationship with Chen Shang, but she could do nothing to him, and she could not harden her heart to break off relationship with him. "Concentrate, focus." Chen Shang recited these words, but his strong and lively soul remained floating in the training room, causing L.V. Kilian to keep his eyes on him, to prevent his soul from running around. After all, the hundreds of flowers palace was filled with girls. She was worried that Chen Shang would run over there and peek at the girls bathing. "Big Sister Kilian, has your father told you anything about Devil Killing Summit?" "Recently, Night Devil Hell has been in a state of unrest," Chen Shang said. "Even the Devil Killing Summit has turned black." L.V. Kilian said. "I am now handing over hundreds of flowers palaces to Little Lizzie and Qinlian. Both of them have rich management experience. I plan to go into closed-door cultivation for a period of time, so I do not really understand these things. My father just said that he wanted to revive devil-suppressing Divine Palace and deal with the sudden change in Night Devil Hell." "So that means you're the main palace master, Qinlian is the second palace master, and Little Lizzie is the third palace master." Chen Shang laughed. "More or less, but they all have the same amount of power." L.V. Kilian glared at Chen Shang fiercely. Previously, Chen Shang had teased him many times and called him his little wife or something like that. Chen Shang curled his lips. "Don't look at me like that. Your hundreds of flowers palace is able to rope in so many outstanding and powerful women. I have done a great service. If you need me, I can help you find a few stronger ones in the future." Chapter 1625. L.V. Kilian had admitted that he had helped her gather many outstanding women, but she was very worried that this place would become Chen Zhang's imperial harem. Chen Zhang's refining speed had already increased. She could produce 2 drops in 2 hours, but it was still far from L.V. Kilian's level. She had condensed 10 drops in 2 hours, and now L.V. Kilian was replicating a large amount of Yushan Dan medicinal herbs. "Your hundreds of flowers palace consumes so many medicinal ingredients so quickly?" Chen Shang asked. "Of course you can. Qianqin and Shangyu's pill refining skills are already very high. There are many pills out there, so the speed is fast and the quality is high." L.V. Kilian knew that the relationship between Chen Shang and Chen Shang was very good, because the pill refining skills the two of them used were very similar to that of Chen Shang. Chen Shang said in surprise, I only gave Qianchen and Shangyu some pointers in the past, but they're already this powerful now. My Hundreds of Flowers Palace lacks a lot of outstanding female alchemists. Don't hurt them. LV Kilian looked at Chen Shang with a strict expression. Chen Shang laughed, Shangyu is already my person, and she's even my female slave. How could I possibly hurt her? Beast. LV Kilian snorted. You lack an outstanding female alchemist, I'll help you look for one. It just so happens that I have a candidate, and her relationship with Qianchen Shangyu is also very good. She's also beautiful and has a solid foundation. Chen Shang laughed. Grand Asgard Mistress, do you accept her? LV Kilian said as his brows furrowed, how could I not know who this female alchemist is? But if you want to find her, you have to first find Yan Zilan. I will give you a set of secret records, you can contact her if you go anywhere and mark them. Then, ask her to gather her sisters and join the Hundreds of Flowers Palace. Chen Shang replied, Yan Zilan was originally at the Ice Dragon Villa, but she has been out on a tour recently. Sister Zilan is very powerful, a divine cultivator who started cultivating the divine way a long time ago. I've heard of her, but I've never been able to find her. LV Kilian nodded her head. Towards these outstanding women, she had always wanted to win them over to her Hundreds of Flowers Palace. Yan Zilan was the famous Zilan immortal fairy a long time ago and she had tried a few times to rope him in, but Yan Zilan had rejected her attempts. And now, with just a single sentence, Chen Shang was able to persuade her. She had to admit, Chen Shang was very good with women. LV Kilian asked, that outstanding alchemist, what's her name? Chen Shang said, she is called Du Yanyao, her grandfather is called Du Hai, a high-ranking Dan immortal who travels everywhere, and is currently as powerful as Li Tianjin. Don't worry, the person I recommend cannot be wrong. I know about her and you. LV Kilian sighed. Back then, he could still gather some information regarding Chen Shang at Sacred Dan Realm. Chen Shang laughed sinisterly. You know how powerful I am, in the future, you must help me take care of them. LV Kilian snorted twice, and said, you're so amazing, help me find a few outstanding girls, I will be grateful to you. Say, as long as you have their whereabouts, I will help you lure them to the Hundreds of Flowers Palace. Chen Shang said very confidently. Bai Yuyu, Su Meiyao, Bai Ziqian, Yuyi Immortal Fairy, they are all famous women from many years ago, and their strengths and potential are all extremely huge. Back then, they had already done many earth-shattering things, but they have already been missing for many years. LV Kilian replied, I've been looking for them for many years, even if it's Bai Ziqian, I still dare to accept them. Bai Ziqian also used the magical corruption gas, but that was something that happened a long time ago. At that time, Chen Shang wasn't even born yet, so LV Kilian didn't make a connection between Chen Shang and his magical corruption gas. Chen Shang did not expect LV Kilian to think about these four women for so long. He laughed, there are two that I have settled, Ji Meixian is Yuyi Immortal Fairy. What, it really is her? No wonder I keep having the feeling that her way of doing things is so familiar. LV Kilian said in surprise, there's one more. Bai Ziqian, I introduced her to your mother. She is currently following the Grandma LV, and if I meet her in the future, I think I will just have to say a few words. She will definitely join the Hundreds of Flowers Palace, and Sister Qinlian will use poison as well. Chen Shang laughed. LV Kilian took a deep breath. What Chen Shang had done in the dark had surprised her. She did not think that Chen Shang had actually come into contact with powerful women like Bai Ziqian and Bai Ziqian before, and she was suddenly very curious about what had happened between them. Go and ask Ji Meixian about the details, it involves more of her secrets, without her permission, I can't say more. Chen Shang said. LV Kilian nodded his head. She is Yuyi Immortal Fairy, so even if I wanted to find out her secret, I wouldn't be able to. Since I want to rope her in, I naturally trust her a lot. It's just that Bai Ziqian is a bit troublesome, she's a witch after all. But if she's with my mother, it should be much better, I'm just afraid that she won't approve of me. Right now, she knew that Bai Ziqian definitely had quite a few of Chen Zhang's super old poison on him. She had to admit that Chen Zhang's methods of winning the hearts of others were very generous, and gave some of the things that others needed the most. Of course she didn't know that Chen Shang being magnanimous to Bai Ziqian was because he was Bai Yuyu's elder sister. Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu, how much do you know about them? These two women who changed her fate respected LV Kilian very much. Therefore, in order to repay them, Chen Shang had to be of the greatest help to the hundreds of Flowers Palace. Shook his head. I don't know much about it. Back then, they were chased and injured by their enemies, and I had kept them for a period of time, but they were worried that it would implicate me, so they left again. I was in closed-door cultivation during that period of time, so I did not have much contact with them. Chen Shang said, do you know how many enemies they have? You actually dared to easily take them in. LV Kilian said in a cold voice. Even though Bai Yu is a demoness of the first generation, the two of them have done many good deeds together while she is with Su Meiyao, and their character is still rather good, so I really admire them. As long as they join the hundreds of Flowers Palace, the ones chasing after them will be my enemies. The current LV Kilian had the aura of a great emperor. Chen Shang thought that her emperors might had been erased, but now, it seems that she had restrained herself, and if there was a day when she had sufficient strength, this aura would return to her body. Chen Shang said, if you are prepared to shelter them, then prepare to deal with Mei Emperor, which is their greatest enemy. You know a lot about them. LV Kilian said, could it be that you're also looking for them? Chapter 1626. Bai Ziqian is Bai Yu's big sister. She told me. Chen Shang did not want to reveal anything related to them yet. Like the Ten Heavens Supreme Lord back then, she had roped all the heroes of the realm and helped him achieve his goals. It was just that LV Kilian only took in females. If she really became one in the future, she would definitely have a lot of power and influence in the new generation of emperors. There was another reason why Chen Shang and LV Kilian had mentioned the Mei Emperor. It was because he wanted to find the Mei Emperor and bring the head and soul of the Mei Emperor before Su Meiyao and Bai Yu. Where are you in the Mei Emperor? She was heavily injured back then, but she definitely wasn't dead. Chen Shang said, if this woman revives, I dare say that she will definitely be your #1 opponent in the future. LV Kilian frowned. Mei Emperor used her unrivaled charm to confuse many strong warriors, and even great Yan Jing found a great number of rare treasures and various powerful techniques. Even if she was severely injured, she must have recovered in these few 100,000 years, and her strength was even stronger. Chen Shang chuckled. So you better get your father's attention. Mei Emperor is specifically focused on this kind of strong and difficult to subdue man. LV Kilian sneered. The one who should be careful is you, and you still have the nerve to talk about others. There are a lot of women around me, but they definitely aren't the ones who attract me. They are the ones who establish a relationship of trust between me and them. I don't believe that if you strip right now, I won't even touch you. Chen Shang said with complete confidence. A woman who can seduce me has yet to be born. LV Kilian disapproved and continued to sneer. That's where you're wrong. Mei Emperor isn't strong not because of her attractive appearance, but because of her unique charm. She eats both genders, and there were many women who were defeated by her at that time. Chen Shang was immediately furious. This woman truly deserves to die. I am already a woman, and am hurting so many women. How good is it for me? I must kill her. LV Kilian said seriously. Even if you are not affected by her, you have to guarantee that your friends in the dragon subduing school are not bewitching. Also, those women by your side, in the eyes of the Mei Emperor, are all good prey. That's why I wanted to bring them to you so that you could train their resistance to this. Chen Shang sighed. He was truly worried about this. Mei Emperor definitely already knew about DTN. Maybe he had already successfully bewitched a large group of people to help her. LV Kilian said. Don't worry, I am not an ordinary person. I have done my research on the Mei Emperor very thoroughly, and all I can do is to be stronger than her. Chen Shang and LV Kilian were discussing secrets while concocting spirit liquid. Although they always acted as if water and fire were not compatible, they could still chat for a few days when chatting. Chen Shang, I will definitely become a flower emperor in the future. What about you? Your current strength should be very close to the emperor level. LV Kilian asked. My next goal is to concoct pills. I have mastered all of the celestial slain method, but right now I am mainly training in a live slain method. You should know that the heaven-earth killing method is extremely flexible, and different people can use different effects, so I might use it differently from you in the future. Chen Shang smiled faintly. He had already decided on a direction in his heart. With your talent in alchemy, this direction is the right one. Back then, the person who obtained the title of ancestor was the Dan Emperor. You might become an ancestor in the future. LV Kilian agreed with Chen Zhang's direction very much and thought very highly of him. Chen Shang laughed. It's only the ancestor. LV Kilian smiled. Then what else do you want? Is the Venerable Emperor not enough? How can you not be a god? You should have heard about the matters of the Hell Devil Emperor, right? That fellow is a god, the god of hell. No matter what kind of emperor you are, you have to kneel in front of these gods. Chen Shang said indifferently. The ancestor was indeed a bit too shabby for him who had the divine deity. LV Kilian sighed. God's realm, my father gave up everything for the sake of becoming a god back then, but in the end, he was still unable to enter the world of gods and was unable to pass the gods' examination. Most importantly, he was unable to condense his divine deity. Quote, a god is also evolved from a mortal, so don't lose your confidence. No matter how difficult it is when the time comes, if you walk in that direction, no matter what the result is, at least you won't regret it. Chen Shang said. LV Kilian nodded. Thinking back to when she was still a weak girl, she had never expected herself to have the kind of strength she did today. Chen Shang was already able to condense 5 drops of spirit liquid within 2 hours. Let's try out the effects of the 20 drops of liquid each. Chen Shang said. I will continue with the large amount of high-level medicinal ingredients. I want to break through to the holy pellet. This was also what LV Kilian needed the most. If Chen Shang could succeed, if she wanted Chen Shang to help her concoct the holy pellet, Chen Shang would definitely not reject her request. Then let me leave my side for now. I will help you condense more spirit liquids. LV Kilian took a deep breath. Don't waste it recklessly. Chen Shang smiled and nodded. Definitely not. LV Kilian poured 20 drops of spirit liquid into a jade bowl and then poured 10 more of her spirit liquid into it. 40 drops of spirit liquid merged together into a single drop in an instant. It was extremely mystical. Even if it's 2 big bowls, they might melt into a single drop. Chen Shang exclaimed. If the compression is that high, the quality must be very high. LV Kilian nodded. This drop should be enough to fill half of the holy level's spirit medicine. Chen Shang anxiously took out a silver heart. This was a sacred heart fruit. Long Shui had always wanted to taste it. Try this. Chen Shang gasped in surprise as he handed the sacred heart fruit over to LV Kilian. Where did you get it? LV Kilian was a little reluctant to cut it in half. Zhang Sheng gave this to me, it's a divine craftsman. Chen Shang urged, hurry up and cut it out. If you can duplicate it, I will give you one. All right. LV Kilian took out a sharp dagger and cut open the jumping sacred heart fruit. To have this kind of sacred heart fruit, in the future, when he gave her time, she would be able to duplicate a large amount of it. LV Kilian dropped down her and Chen Zhang's spirit liquid from the cut-on half of the sacred heart fruit, and the other half quickly grew back. It's a success, but there's one more side. Chen Shang took out the remaining 20 drops of spirit liquid and handed them over to LV Kilian. Looks like we need to use 40 drops of spirit liquid to be able to make a copy of the holy level's ingredients. Chapter 1627. Under the fusion of their spirit liquids, 1 sacred heart fruit quickly became 2. Here you go. Chen Shang happily gave LV Kilian a sacred heart fruit. Thank you. LV Kilian gave him a gentle smile, placed him inside a jade box, and said, I will now start to condense spirit liquid for you. How much do you want? Chen Shang thought for a moment, then said, 3,000 drops. You can condense 10 drops in 2 hours, and 100 drops would appear every day every 10 hours. This will take a month, and it will be very tiring. It's fine. I'll be fine at most once for half a year. LV Kilian laughed. It's worth it to work hard for 1 month in exchange for a sacred heart fruit. Seeing LV Kilian smiling so sweetly, Chen Shang stared at her without blinking. LV Kilian withdrew her smile when she saw Chen Zhang's fiery gaze. She had obtained a sacred heart fruit and was indeed in an excellent mood. Sister Kilian, I think there's a way that might make our spirit liquid even more powerful. Chen Zhang's mind flashed, and he suddenly said. What method? LV Kilian frowned. She saw the naughty look in Chen Zhang's eyes and had a bad premonition. Chen Shang scratched his head and laughed. Do you still remember the last time we kissed? No. LV Kilian already knew what method Chen Shang was talking about and immediately refused. Sister Kilian, I really do not have any other evil intentions, I just wanted to verify my thoughts. You and I both know that the last time we had such a huge difference in our abilities, and I also don't know what a live slain method is. My spirit liquid was greatly different from yours, but it's different now. Chen Shang righteously spoke with a serious face. Now that I have cultivated the alive slain method, my strength is almost the same as yours. When we refined the spirit liquid to fuse together, you have also personally witnessed the effect. Although Chen Zhang's flowery words sounded very reasonable, she still felt that Chen Shang wanted to openly take advantage of her. In that case, forget it. Seeing LV Kilian's unwillingness, Chen Shang sighed. Although LV Kilian looked unwilling on the surface, she still wanted to give it a try. Last time, when Chen Shang kissed her, the two of them used their powers at the same time, causing the spirit liquid to quickly heal her injuries. It's fine to try, but you must promise me not to touch my body. LV Kilian seemed to have made an important decision. After she said it, she suddenly regretted it, but she was also filled with anticipation. Chen Shang was overjoyed and immediately nodded in agreement, laughing, let's do it on the bed. This is good enough. LV Kilian snorted lightly, why aren't you coming over? LV Kilian sat on a soft blanket and when he went over, he felt that this place was no different from a bed. He sat in front of LV Kilian and looked at that slightly embarrassed and beautiful face. Relax, it's not like we've never tried before. Chen Shang laughed mischievously as he hugged LV Kilian's slender waist, causing LV Kilian to involuntarily lean into his embrace. Bastard! LV Kilian raised her head to look at Chen Shang. Just as she let out a low curse, her sandalwood mouth had already been stuffed shut by Chen Shang, and she had already felt a warm tongue seeping into her mouth. She had done it even more shyly when she was at the God's Join method, and she was even more familiar with kissing at that time. In the beginning, the two of them had actually kissed with great tacit understanding. Neither of them mentioned the matter of activating the alive slain method together, and the two even hugged each other even more tightly. LV Kilian had already taken the initiative to hug Chen Zhang's body, and the two of them kissed together without thinking. After a long while, the two finally parted their lips. LV Kilian's cheeks were slightly red, her head was lowered, and she was gasping for breath. It was obvious that she had entered a very excited state, and realized that her resistance to Chen Shang had become weaker and weaker. Chen Shang caressed her face and laughed. Let's begin, we've played enough just now, we can proceed without worry now. LV Kilian's chest rose and fell as she took a few deep breaths, a trace of emotion could be seen in her eyes as she nodded her head slightly. This time, she took the initiative to raise her head, and the two of them were like a couple. Chen Shang laid down, allowing LV Kilian to lie on his broad and robust body, and sent her a sound transmission, start the circulation of the alive slain method. You're still not very familiar with it yet. I'll cooperate with you, LV Kilian replied. The two of them were already very satisfied before this, but to be able to be so intimate with each other now, their hearts felt extremely happy. In order to test if cultivating the alive slain method together was effective, they had no choice but to put aside their emotions and focus on operating the alive slain method. Not long after, a layer of pale white light appeared around their bodies. The tips of their tongues intertwined as they slowly condensed a refreshing energy. It's working. Chen Shang excitedly transmitted his voice to LV Kilian, causing him to hug LV Kilian even more tightly. Be serious, LV Kilian said softly, this is a critical moment. Chen Shang did not dare move, the two of them continued to embrace each other as if they were in deep sleep. The white glow around them became denser and denser, as a large amount of Holy Spirit Qi was being absorbed by them. The two of them continued like this for more than half a day. During these few hours, they didn't say much and just hugged and kissed each other. They enjoyed themselves quite a bit. It's already been 5 hours, why don't I feel like I've managed to condense something? Chen Shang sent a sound transmission to LV Kilian. Sister Kilian, what about you? LV Kilian was a little surprised. No, I felt like I managed to condense something close to my throat, and it's solid. I think it should be a pearl. Chen Shang laughed. It's probably because you're a woman, and half of the children are women. When LV Kilian heard this, she pinched Chen Zhang's waist lightly. Chen Shang had long since gotten used to pinching girls, but he still retaliated against LV Kilian. His huge claw moved to LV Kilian's waist, at the bottom of his butt and grabbed at it with a bit of force. Don't touch my body. Although LV Kilian was angry, she could only shout out with the sound transmission, she did not seem to be very angry. It has already been 12 hours, LV Kilian sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang. I can feel that the pearl I condensed has already formed, it should be over now, right? Anyway, there will be chances in the future. Chen Shang laughed, and then, the two of them consciously split up. At this moment, LV Kilian was straddling Chen Zhang's stomach, and her sandalwood mouth was slightly opened, only to see a transparent pearl floating out from her mouth. This was a transparent pearl that was the size of a longan. Chapter 1628. LV Kilian placed the pearl in her palm and creased her eyebrows, carefully observing it. At this moment, she was still quite excited, because the spirit liquid that had solidified into a solid was definitely not an ordinary one. She and Chen Shang had been pestering each other for a long time before being able to produce this thing. Sister Kilian, how should we use this thing? Based on your experience, what kind of effects do you think it would have? Chen Shang did not understand much about this, but he knew that this pearl was very powerful. LV Kilian exclaimed, "Unbelievable, I never thought that fusing them in this way would actually be even more powerful. Could it be that the alive slain method's final profound meaning is the fusion of yin and yang?" Chen Shang laughed. "Of course, the continuation of life is always like this." LV Kilian nodded, she thought so too. When she was training with the alive slain method, she had never thought of this question. She did not expect that by chance, she would discover the greatest mystery of the alive slain method. "How are the effects of this pearl?" Chen Shang was very curious. "What do you want to try?" "This is not a liquid, it can't be dropped into the medicinal herbs, right?" LV Kilian said. "Based on the energy I feel, I think I can replicate at least 5 sacred heart fruit. Take a basin of water, and then release the Holy Spirit chi from the holy stone and merge it with the water, turning the water into the Holy Spirit water." LV Kilian said. "I have already tried this method before, it is one of the methods to quickly duplicate a large amount of medicinal herbs." Chen Shang took out a square jade box that was as big as a wash basin, and took out a jade bottle. He poured some Holy Spirit water inside. "I got this Holy Spirit water from the sacred domain. Can you use it directly?" Chen Shang asked. "Sure." LV Kilian took out the sacred heart fruit that Chen Shang had just gifted her, and evenly cut it into 6 pieces, and placed it inside the box that was filled with the Holy Spirit water. Chen Shang knew what LV Kilian wanted to do and said excitedly, "You want to soak this pearl in the water and melt it?" "That's right." LV Kilian placed the spirit orb into the water, and when the spirit orb entered the water, after sensing the sacred heart fruit that was cut into 6 pieces, it started to release a silver light, and the spirit orb slowly became smaller and smaller. The silver light flowed into the sacred heart fruit fragments. In the blink of an eye, the 6 pieces of sacred heart fruit meat inside the jade box had actually grown at a rapid rate, turning the 6 pieces of meat into 6 pieces of sacred heart fruit. Previously, when they were fusing the spirit liquid, they already felt that it was very fast, but now, the speed at which the spirit pearl was replicating was even more terrifying. LV Kilian anxiously fished out the 6 sacred heart fruits from the water, then cut another one into half and threw it into the water. The 2 halves of the sacred heart fruit quickly became 2. It turned out that the healing life energy inside the halves had not been used up completely. "Here, you can use this water again and again." LV Kilian placed the copied 6 sacred heart fruits into a jade box and handed it over to Chen Shang. "You don't want it?" Chen Shang took it, and exclaimed as he looked at the 6th brother's popping and jumping sacred heart fruit. "I don't need it right now. When I need it, I can also condense the spirit liquid and duplicate it myself." LV Kilian said softly. "Next, should we continue?" Quote. Chen Shang laughed. "Of course we have to continue, this will save us a lot of time. We can get 20 out of it in 10 days, which is enough for me to use for a long time." 10 days in a row. LV Kilian let out a faint sigh, and with slightly red cheeks, she softly replied. "All right, but we can only condense 1 every day. We'll do our own for the rest of the time, it's not good to be like that all day long." The 2 of them had originally planned to rest for a while, but they were not tired at all. When they used the alive slain method together, not only would it remove their fatigue, it seemed that it would also bring them benefits, just like dual cultivation. 10 days later, Chen Shang had 15 of those kinds of pearls in his hands. As Chen Zhang's usage of the alive slain method increased, he and LV Kilian could condense these kinds of pearls in only 6 hours while cultivating. However, Chen Shang felt that his greatest gain was the relationship he had with LV Kilian. Although they did not say it out loud, they knew very well that their relationship had already been solidified here. "When are you going to Heavenly Dragon Realm?" LV Kilian asked. She did not know why Chen Shang was going to the Heavenly Dragon Realm, but she was sure it was because there was something important. "Wait a moment," Chen Shang giggled, "could it be that you can't bear to part with me?" "No, if you're going to the Heavenly Dragon Realm, it would be best if you came back to visit DTN after a period of time. The current situation is unfathomable," LV Kilian said. Chen Shang took out a few jade boxes that contained blood ginseng s, Tianshan holy fruit s, phoenix fruits, and blood exquisite fruits. You should have the holy lotus seed. Chen Shang said, hurry up and copy all of these. If you are free, you can do it a little more. LV Kilian was not surprised to see Chen Shang taking out so many holy level s, she only exclaimed in her heart. Indeed, it was as she had guessed, Chen Shang had already grasped a lot of holy level s. In these 10 days, after Chen Shang and LV Kilian condensed spirit pearls together, there was still a lot of time to condense spirit liquids. Chen Shang also gave the spirit liquids to her, allowing her to fuse them together, which would be faster. Chen Shang replied, I may have to go to that sacred domain. There is a very large super old sacred city there, where I can obtain the high-grade immortal pills that I lack. I hope that when I return, I would already be a pill saint. After LV Kilian finished copying the holy level medicinal herbs, he nodded towards Chen Shang. You definitely can do it, leave this place to me. After a while, I'll go to the Ice Dragon Villa to talk to Shui Shenxian and the others, and teach them some methods to resist the Mei Emperor's charm art. I can rest assured now, thank you. Chen Shang and LV Kilian embraced each other. You should be careful too, you should also be Mei Emperor's #1 prey. LV Kilian smiled sweetly, do you think she can hunt me? Of course not. Chen Shang kissed her red lips, and laughed, because I've already killed you. After Chen Shang finished speaking, his body gradually merged with the fluctuating space behind him and disappeared. After returning to the heavenly dragon realm, Long Shui closed her eyes and started to cultivate. Right now, she wanted to use the power of this strange white mountain and give Leng Yulin a share of the supreme dragon blood. Chen Shang laid on the bright and comfortable stone room, gently stroking the soft carpet below. The scene where he and LV Kilian laid on the ground, entangled with each other, couldn't help but reappear in front of him. Laughing so wantonly, are you thinking of something bad? Long Shui laughed out loud as he pounced towards Chen Shang, laid on his body, and smelled all over it. What are you doing? It's been a few days and you've turned into a puppy. Chen Shang slapped her buttocks. Stop sniffing. PFF'd. Long Shui scoffed, the fragrance of the woman on your body is too strong, I just want to see who it belongs to. The smell has already penetrated deep into your skin, it seems that the 100 Blossom Emperor, has developed quite well. Jealous, didn't you tell me to eat her? Chen Shang laughed and pinched Long Shui's chest. Long Shui strongly pushed his hand away, and asked with some excitement, you really ate her? Chen Shang shook his head and laughed, not yet, but she's already a piece of meat on my chopping block, it's just a matter of time. Yulan goes out to hunt holy beasts all day long. Chen Shang asked. That old lunatic took her on a treasure hunt. It's boring for her here anyway, so it's good for her to follow that lunatic around. Long Shui said, when you went to find LV Kilian, other than being a lot closer to her, did you have any other gains? Chen Shang pinched her face and laughed, of course there is. He took 2 out and said, these are all made by LV Kilian and I. She doesn't want any of them, so you have to thank her in the future. Wow, how did you make so much so fast? How did you do it? Long Shui carried the jade box in his arms and already picked up a sacred heart fruit to chew on it. It made Chen Shang feel that it was a little strange, as if Long Shui was eating his heart. He could be considered a dual cultivator. Chen Shang took out 15 of those beads, and then told Long Shui everything. Long Shui exclaimed, the alive slain method is indeed wondrous and endless. Oh, right, why don't you request a deeper level of dual cultivation with her? Body and body are fused, and the soul will merge together. When that happens, the effects will certainly be even more terrifying, wasting away a good opportunity. That's not the time. I did have that thought, but when I was with her, I could feel her thoughts. She still doesn't want that kind of thing to happen to me at that time. Chen Shang said. On the other hand, I have already gotten a few sacred heart fruit for you. When are you going to bring those supreme dragon blood out? I want to go to the Absolute Monarch Sanctuary quickly and take a look at Sister Meiyao and Sister Yu. Long Shui said. Soon, I will be able to make them after eating these 4 sacred heart fruit. I miss them a lot too. Long Shui was quick, he waited for half a year, but he was not idle during this period of time. He condensed the spirit liquid and copied out a large amount of sacred animal fruit S and Tianlong Dan S, medicinal ingredients, allowing him to successfully refine Immortal Grade 5 and Immortal Grade 6 sacred animal Dan S and Tianlong Dan S. This is the supreme dragon blood. Chen Shang looked at the hair-like white silk in Long Shui's hand, and upon closer inspection, it looked very much like a dragon. Of course, this is the same thing as divine deity. Yu Lan, in the future, if nothing unexpected happens, the supreme dragon blood that has perfect condition will definitely have it. Long Shui said with great confidence. Yu Lan, open your mouth, ah. Leng Yulan listened very much to Long Shui's words. After opening her mouth, Long Shui placed the supreme dragon blood into her mouth. The supreme dragon blood seemed to have a spirit of its own and entered Leng Yulan's mouth, causing Leng Yulan's entire body to instantly shine with a burst of white light. I succeeded, but I'll need some time to get used to it. Long Shui giggled. He patted Leng Yulan's shoulders and asked, do you feel anything now? Leng Yulan frowned, and shook his head. I can't describe that feeling, it seems like the dragon vein isn't obedient. That's right, this is the reason that we don't have a perfect match. Stay in the Ice Dragon Villa for a while and let those old ice dragons help you. Your brother and I are going to a rather dangerous place. Long Shui said. Chapter 1629. At this time, Leng Yulan was very clear about her current situation. She could not go exploring with Chen Shang and the others, so she revealed a smile and nodded. Once I have perfectly fused with the supreme dragon blood, I will become very powerful. Chen Shang patted her shoulder and encouraged her. Then work hard, I'll send you and master back. Huang Jintian, who was at the side, had been considering something. Are you going to the Saint Realm? I want to go with you. Cat is still there. I can go find him and hunt for saint beasts. Huang Jintian laughed. Bring me along. Chen Shang sent Leng Yulan back to the Ice Dragon Villa. At this time, Huang Jintian and Long Shui were both in the Serene Jade Ring. He had already gone to the sacred region before and had spatial senses towards the sacred region, so he did not need to use the teleportation platform to head to the sacred region. After arriving at the Absolute Monarch Sanctuary, Chen Shang had passed through that layer of light and released Huang Jintian. He could go and find Maor by himself. Chen Shang and Long Shui, on the other hand, were Sky Capital, which was in the middle of entering the Absolute Monarch Sanctuary, heading to Super Old Sacred City. Back then, he had gotten to know two very strong female rankers in the Super Old Sacred City. It was just that he did not know whether Jilinger and Red Cloud were still at the house they bought back then. I remember that they both have enemies family, as long as Super Old Sacred City is not settled by that Super Holy School, they should be fine. Long Shui said. She was resting inside the ring, although she was very strong now, but she was very lazy, and would definitely not sit when she was lying down. Chen Shang began to feel the spatial undulations when he was in Super Old Sacred City. As long as he could sense the space there, he would be able to use the power of the spatial laws to pass through. Sister Mei Yao and Miss Yu Yu are in Divine Feather School. Even if Super Holy School controls the entire Super Old Sacred City, I think they would help Jilinger and the rest. The space around Chen Shang started to fluctuate. He had already found the space where the Super Old Sacred City was. He did not teleport directly to the inside of the Super Old Sacred City, but instead, he was in a wasteland outside the Super Old Sacred City, and was still a distance away from the Super Old Sacred City. He was worried that if he got too close to the Super Old Sacred City, he would be discovered by the rankers inside the Super Old Sacred City, causing unnecessary trouble. It was very safe outside Super Old Sacred City because many rankers killed saint beasts to earn Holy Stones. Saint beasts coming to this place was simply a suicide. Chen Shang crossed a wasteland and entered the Super Old Sacred City, heading to the strongest region in the Sky Capital. However, the moment he entered the Super Old Sacred City, he heard a piece of bad news. He never thought that not long after he left the sacred domain, such a thing would happen. The entire Super Old Sacred City was actually controlled by the Super Holy School, and a power like the Divine Feather School didn't dare to say much either. What's going on? We haven't left for too long, right? Moreover, the strength of the Super Holy School at that time shouldn't have been that strong either. Chen Shang found it hard to understand, as a large half of the Heaven Sacred District had already become Super Holy School. Long Shui said in a serious voice, if I bought wrongly, the Super Holy School should have been won over by the Hell Devil Emperor. If I can gather a large number of experts from the sacred domain to attack DTN, tisk tisk, the consequences would be unimaginable. This Hell Devil Emperor is really a tumor. Chen Shang gritted his teeth and cursed. Quickly go to the Divine Feather School and find Feng Yuji. See if you can find out the whereabouts of Hongsha and Jilinger. Since the Super Holy School controls the super old sacred city, it will definitely be difficult for the two of them to hide here. Long Shui said. Chen Shang immediately headed to Divine Feather School, and the one who received him was the elder from back then. After recognizing him, he anxiously brought him to Feng Yuji. Feng Yuji, who had always been in seclusion, was now in charge of the entire Divine Feather School. It was because the entire Absolute Monarch Sanctuary was not at peace right now. As a leader and a pill saint, Feng Yuji's strength was not to be underestimated. At the moment, he did not have any conflicts of interest with the Super Holy School, so the Super Holy School dared to make a move on the Divine Feather School. Feng Yuji was just like before, wearing simple clothes. Although her appearance was average, the way she moved her hands was extremely charming. When she saw Chen Shang coming over, she chuckled and said, "You're back so soon." After saying that, Feng Yuji's smile suddenly disappeared. He frowned at Chen Shang, with a look of shock on his face, because Chen Zhang's strength was extremely shocking to her. Back then when Chen Shang left, he was only at Immortal Becoming Realm, but now, she was unable to see through him. "Where's Sister Mei Yao and Elder Sister Yu Yu?" Chen Shang did not bother with her and quickly replied, "I want to meet them." Feng Yuji said, "They just ate the saint revitalizing pellet that I refined, and they will take some time to refine. You won't be able to see them now." Chen Shang nodded his head. This could be understood, and he asked again, "Now that Super Old Sacred City is in control, Super Holy School has been chasing after two women." Feng Yuji seemed to have already guessed that Chen Shang would ask about this. She took out a jade box and said, "This is what they left for you." Chen Shang immediately received the jade box and opened it to look. It was a map, and when he opened it, he was completely confused by what he saw, because he did not know anything about this sacred domain. "Where are they?" Chen Shang passed the map to Feng Yuji and said, "I'm not familiar with this place. Seems like they are far away from the super old sacred city. This is an area that is not yet controlled by the Super Holy School. It's called the Holy Beast Mountain Range. There are also many strong humans, and a few of them are strong beast kings. The Super Holy School do not dare to go there recklessly. The map should indicate that they are inside their cave." Feng Yuji said, "There is the transmission array here, we can teleport there directly. If you go to that place, you should keep a low profile." "Aunt Feng, when will Sister Mei Yao and Elder Sister Yu Yu wake up?" Chen Shang asked. "If my two daughters can recover, then their strength will definitely rise greatly. I need to guide them from the side, so I can't be sure when they can finish it. It should be within 10 years. The Aunt Feng said. Within 10 years, Chen Shang could understand. After all, those were injuries that had been left behind for many years, and they had been treated while raising one's strength. However, he still felt that it was too long. "Aunt Feng, do you know about the matters concerning Hell Devil Emperor? Do you think that there is a connection between Super Holy School and Hell Devil Emperor?" This was what Long Shui told Chen Shang to ask. "You also know about the matters with the Hell Devil Emperor. Honestly speaking, the Hell Devil Emperor also came to find me and offered very generous conditions for me to become his subordinate. However, I rejected." Feng Yuji let out a long sigh. "Even though my Divine Feather School is fine up till now, I feel that she will not let me off. In that case, other than the Super Holy School, there are also many other powerhouses that have been bribed by the Hell Devil Emperor." Chen Shang frowned. "That's right, because the Hell Devil Emperor's conditions are very generous. First, if one's soul is not destroyed, one will never die, then he will provide some precious holy level medicinal herbs, and then, some saint weapons. You have to know, the saint weapons in Hell are very powerful. They were all made by a large number of artifact forgers controlled by the Hell Devil Emperor." Feng Yuji said, "Who knows, maybe he can even bring out some divine weapons." Chen Shang said, "A few days ago, a few of the heavenly regions attacked DTN, but they did not succeed in the end because DTN's current strength is not weak either. If they were to fight, the heavenly regions would not benefit much." Feng Yuji sighed. "I also heard that DTN had such a great power right after he was reborn. If we give DTN a little more time, the Sky region would definitely not dare to challenge him. The current DTN was able to give birth to a Holy Spirit aura. He was even stronger than the DTN from back then. Aunt Feng, if Hell Devil Emperor wants to make a move on you, then move Divine Feather School to DTN." Chen Shang said, "If we stay there, we can resist the power of the Hell Devil Emperor together. I'll think about it. After all, that's DTN. It's not easy to migrate from here as a whole." Feng Yuji suddenly laughed. "You aren't planning to rope me in, are you?" Of course not, it's just cooperation. Chen Shang laughed. I'll go look for Hong Sha and the others first. When I get back, I'll have to ask you about some things regarding refining pills. Oh, your alchemy skills are so special, I can't guide you. Feng Yuji scoffed. Don't tell me you want to challenge me again, laugh at me after you defeat me. Chen Shang shook his head. Yes, there is a method to refine high-level pellets, for example a high-level 8 or 9 pellet, or even a sacred pellet. Hearing Chen Zhang's words, Feng Yuji immediately understood that Chen Shang did not come here just to see Su Meiyao and Bai Yu, but also to become a pill saint. She was not too surprised that Chen Shang would be able to become a pill saint in such a short time. Chen Shang came to the Holy Beast Mountain Range through the Divine Feather School's transmission array. The Divine Feather School had a very close business relationship with the Holy Beast Mountain Range, so there were a few transmission arrays that led to the Holy Beast Mountain Range. After arriving at the Sacred Beast Mountain Range, he released his divine soul to wander in the air and survey the terrain. After comparing Jilinger and Red Dawn's maps, he quickly found a gigantic mountain that was specially made for people. There were many big and small caves on top of the mountain. Chen Shang followed the map and quickly found their cave. He knocked on the stone door of the cave, waiting for them to open. Not long after, the stone door slowly opened, revealing a beautiful lady. It was Jilinger. However, Chen Shang had disguised herself previously, so she was extremely wary when she saw a stranger before her. Little Linger, it's me. Chen Shang anxiously transmitted to Jilinger. It's not easy for you to open the door. Seeing that it was Chen Shang, Jilinger hastily pulled him in and closed the door. It's really you. How did you arrive so quickly? Jilinger asked excitedly, jumping around while hugging Chen Shang. Chapter 1630. Hong Sha and Jilinger knew that Chen Shang would definitely come, because they already knew what was happening within DTN. They just did not expect that Chen Shang would arrive so quickly. Little Linger, what do you think of me? Chen Shang giggled as he reached out to scratch her beautiful nose, then looked at Hong Sha, and laughed helplessly. I didn't expect it to change so suddenly. This place is the same as DTN, and there's even a little connection between them. Because experts like Ten Heaven's Supreme Lord, Zhang Sheng, Demon Emperor Bai Yaowei, and Devil-Suppressing Heavenly Venerable had appeared one after another, making it difficult for those Sky region to launch a huge battle against DTN. Therefore, at this time, the Hell Devil Emperor had found the Absolute Monarch Sanctuary. With the help of the Hell Devil Emperor, the Super Holy School dominated the entire sacred region and controlled the entire Heaven Sacred District, causing Hong Sha and Jilinger to have no choice but to leave this place that they thought to be very safe. Humans are better off if it's like that. Fortunately, the situation isn't too bad, and those fellows don't dare to come to the Saint Beast Mountain Range. These beasts actually have more backbone than humans, and were not bribed by the Hell Devil Emperor. Although she said it like that, she was still worried before. But now that Chen Shang had arrived, she suddenly felt at ease. Jilinger laughed tenderly. You grew up so fast. I thought that when we met again, you would need me to help you raise your strength. But it seems that you are even stronger than us now. Chen Shang followed the two girls into the cave. The cave was simple and crude, but it was neat and tidy. The two girls were not dressed very well right now. When Chen Shang was much weaker than Hong Sha and Jilinger, the two girls had treated him very well and even made him eat tofu. But now that Chen Shang was as strong as them, even stronger than them, they respected him even more, because Chen Shang was a very powerful alchemist before, and now that he was so strong, he would definitely become a pill sage in the future. To have a pill sage friend was something many people dreamed of. The two women poured tea for Chen Shang and treated him extremely well. Chen Shang, on the other hand, admired these two beauties with a smile on his face. Their clothes weren't very pretty, which allowed them to exude a kind of natural beauty. We don't want to stay here right now. Super Holy School and the rest have yet to enter the Sacred Beast Mountain Range, but they just don't dare to come in for the time being. Their powers will grow very quickly, and with the help of the Hell Devil Emperor, they will quickly take over many large Saint Realm forces, dominating the entire Saint Realm before attacking DTN. Red Cloud said. Chen Shang nodded, he thought so too. This was because the Super Holy School already had a huge power in the sacred region, but they did not have any plans to attack DTN. You guys also know about the Hell Devil Emperor? Chen Shang asked. The Hell Devil Emperor came to find us and told us a bunch of nonsense, telling us to sacrifice ourselves and help that bastard leader of the Super Holy School become stronger. Of course we wouldn't listen to his nonsense, so he wanted to force it on us, but we are not pushovers, so we will work together to beat him away. Jiling'er's face was filled with indignation. The Red Cloud said, Hell Devil Emperor's Hell Devil Envoy is really strong, and they also have a very mysterious ability of perception, able to sense the location of a lot of strong warriors. I heard that a lot of strong warriors have been found by the Hell Devil Envoy, and many of them couldn't resist the rich conditions offered by the Hell Devil Emperor, so they joined the Super Holy School. Chen Shang, can you bring us to DTN? Right now, we don't have any great powers to rely on, although our strength is not bad. Against such a huge being like the Super Holy School, we are just small fries. We want to be together with you. Jiling'er shook Chen Zhang's arm, pouted her mouth, and spoke softly. Her cute appearance made Chen Shang feel his bones go soft. All right, you're an old granny who has lived for 10,000 years. Don't act like a spoiled child, it's really hard for people to take it. Chen Shang laughed. The fact that Chen Shang agreed made Hong Sha and Jiling'er extremely happy. Seeing the happy smiles on the two girls' faces, Chen Shang said, I can bring you guys to DTN, but there are two things I need to clarify first. Firstly, you cannot follow me, but I will arrange for you two to join a force. Secondly, my goal here is to become a pill saint. Before that, I need to find some high-level alchemists to practice and level up. They knew that Chen Shang would become a pill saint sooner or later, but it was simply too fast now. The legendary pill saint, wasn't he an old demon who had lived for tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of years? But after they thought about it more carefully, they felt that it was a very normal thing to do with Chen Shang. Ladies, you too might be able to witness the birth of a pill saint, hee. Chen Shang said with a confident smile on his face. No, it should be you guys assisting a future pill saint. Red Cloud gently smiled. Just tell us what you want us to do. Jiling'er's expression was solemn, and said, even if you don't want to die, we will definitely do our best to help you. Little spirit is really loyal. Chen Shang laughed openly. I can't bear to have beauties like you die for me, I'm not that kind of person either. The things you guys need to do is very simple, just like before. Do you guys still have the holy stone? Chen Shang asked. He still had 10 million kilograms of holy stone here, and he had given some small knives to bring back to the dragon subduing school before. He had also given some to Shui Shenxian and the others. Not much. Hong Sha felt a little awkward, because Chen Shang had left them a lot of things back then. It's fine, I still have 10 million caddies. How about this, you guys go buy some commonly used tier 6 immortal pills and come back. This 10 million caddies of holy stone should be enough, right? Chen Shang took out a storage bag. Jiling'er frowned. About that, they can only buy one, and it's not a very good one at that. Super Holy School is controlling the market for high-grade pills, the price has increased by several times, they want to force some experts who are in urgent need of high-grade pills to join Super Holy School. Quote. Seeing how powerful the Super Holy School was, Chen Shang suddenly had a burst of motivation. He wished that he could take a walk around the Super Holy School to see what they were capable of with the help of the Hell Devil Emperor. The corner of his mouth curled up in a cold smile. Super Holy School, it's best if we can take care of them in this sacred domain. Otherwise, they might go and harm DTN in the future. Then these 10 million caddies of Holy Stone are enough to buy a batch of tier 6 immortal pills. Super Holy School has already done me a huge favor, haha. Chen Shang suddenly laughed out loud, causing Red Cloud and Jiling'er to be confused, but they were already used to it, because what Chen Shang did was out of their expectations. Resume updated. First of all, I apologize to everyone and have made them wait for a long time. And thank you so much for caring for me, and I'm touched to see you leave a message, and thank you for your blessings. Finally, I solemnly declare that this book has no Unix, that it continues to be updated, and that it remains as passionate as ever. Chapter 1631. Chen Shang gave 10 million holy stone to Hong Sha and Jiling'er. These 10 million caddies of holy stone were not a small amount to Hong Sha and Jiling'er, but they could only barely afford to buy high-level elixirs whose prices had skyrocketed, causing them to feel a lot of pressure, because it was not easy to obtain them. Although it was this price on the market, it was still priceless. Just as Hong Sha and Jiling'er walked out of the cave and closed the stone door, Chen Shang suddenly teleported through space and appeared by their side. I'll go with you guys. You guys have a wide range of connections, but you guys can't compare to me in identifying medicinal ingredients. Chen Shang was actually worried that something might happen to them. Now that the high-grade immortal medicines were all controlled by the super holy school, the price would skyrocket by at least 10 times, so no one would buy them now. If someone were to buy them, they would definitely attract attention. Of course, Red Cloud and Ji would be happy to accompany Chen Shang. Although Super Holy School wouldn't cause trouble at the Holy Beast Mountain Range, they could still cause trouble for them. With Chen Shang accompanying them, they wouldn't need to be afraid. There are also some cities in the Sacred Beast Mountain Range, but unlike the humans, they usually dig caves in a mountain or on some huge trees. It's said that this is the largest ancient tree in the Sacred Beast Mountain Range, and it's even a sacred tree. As Ji walked, he introduced the situation of the Sacred Beast Mountain Range to Chen Shang. Red Cloud added, "It's said that the owner of this holy tree is an eagle, one of the 10 great beast emperors of the Saint Realm." Chen Shang looked forward, wanting to see the gigantic holy tree, but a large mountain blocked his line of sight, making it difficult to see the huge tree in the distance. Furthermore, there was a thin mist floating in the air. Long Shui suddenly said to Chen Shang, "I have a white dragon sword here. Originally, the Tianlong sword was also with me, but it was loaned away that year. That guy seems to be a big bird." Chen Shang was not surprised. Long Shui could even lend out something as valuable as divine deity. There was nothing surprising about lending the Tianlong sword to others. Once we get there, we'll be able to confirm if it's really him. I wonder if that guy will return it to me. Long Shui said. That guy is not easy to deal with. Right now, all I am missing is the Tianlong sword and the white dragon sword to be able to gather all of the 7 dragons' sword. So what exactly is going on with this 7 dragons' sword? Chen Shang asked. I don't know, but in short, my white dragon sword appeared by my side all of a sudden, and then the white dragon sword led me to search for the Tianlong sword. At that time, the other 6 dragons were like me, and they were guided by the dragon sword in their hands to search for the Tianlong sword. Long Shui was extremely proud of himself when he mentioned this. Chen Shang scolded in a low voice, "It's not easy to get this thing to lend to others." Long Shui snorted. "They didn't just casually lend it to me. That guy exchanged a bunch of holy fruits with me. If I had met you earlier, I wouldn't have even bothered to look at him." Chen Shang had already guessed that she only lent the Tianlong sword out because she was greedy, but now that he and Long Shui had good abilities, it shouldn't be hard for them to take back the Tianlong sword. I wonder what will happen if we gather all the 7 dragons' sword. Chen Shang was very curious about this. I also want to know, when we 6 dragons met back then, not only was it a competition for the Tianlong sword, we also wanted to snatch away all the other dragons' holy swords, but we did not succeed. I only knew that the green dragon gave his azure dragon sword to the old Zhang in the end. Long Shui said. When Chen Shang entered the emperor's tomb, he defeated a spirit body that became him and obtained the azure dragon sword. After going over more than 10 mountains that were as tall as the clouds, Chen Shang and the others finally saw the ancient holy tree. From the top of the mountain, the gigantic green crown of the tree looked like a green dome that shrouded a large piece of land. Chen Shang stood at the top of the tall mountain. The clouds had already reached the top of the clouds, and only reached the middle of the mountain. This mountain could be considered very tall, but the tree was even taller, and the crown of the tree looked like it had been propped up by a thick tree trunk. Even if Chen Shang and the others were at the summit of the mountain, they would still have to raise their heads and look at the treetop that seemed to connect into the starry sky. So high, Chen Shang was stunned for a while, then exclaimed. Is everyone on top of that tree? Let's fly up. Just as Chen Shang finished speaking, Jilinger and Hong Sha immediately pulled on him, worried that he would fly over. Red Cloud anxiously said, we can't fly, we can only go up through the transmission array in the trunk, and that is the top tree. There are a total of 3 crowns, we can only go to the middle tree. Jilinger said, the treetop in the middle is beneath the clouds. We'll be able to see it once we go down the mountain. Chen Shang laughed. What a strange tree. The trunk of this giant tree was as big as the sky. The branches that made up its crown were even thicker, and each branch was as thick as a large river. After descending the mountain, Chen Shang indeed saw 2 treetops at the bottom. The lowest one was around 10,000 meters tall while the middle one was hidden in the clouds. Why can't I go to the top one? Chen Shang asked. Because the Beast King is up there. That is his lair, if we recklessly go there, we will be killed, said. At this moment, she and Red Cloud were tightly holding onto Chen Zhang's arm, worried that Chen Shang would fly up, because Chen Zhang's current fearless expression made them very worried. When he approached the holy tree, Chen Shang realized that the tree had a natural transparent barrier that protected the whole tree from being destroyed. Of course, if it was destroyed inside the tree, it would be punished by the tree manager. There must be a lot of good stuff underneath this holy tree. Long Shui muttered. The biggest possibility is that there is a high-quality holy stone mine below. No wonder when that guy gave me that many holy fruits back then, he did not even bat an eye. If I knew earlier, he would have given me a little more. If she did not meet Chen Shang, Long Shui would have definitely thought of the holy fruit on the tree. Now that Chen Shang was a cultivator with the alive slain method, he was able to create many holy fruits, and she was too lazy to obtain them herself. At the bottom of the huge tree trunk, thick tree roots protruded out from the ground, causing gorges to appear on the ground. At the bottom of the huge tree trunk, thick tree roots rose up from the ground, causing gorges to appear on the ground. Chapter 1632. The tree trunk in front had a very small crack, which looked like it was naturally formed. From afar, it looked very small, but from a closer look, it was more than enough for a giant dragon to drill into it. Chen Shang faintly felt that this holy tree was very close to the legendary divine tree. The earth tree he met in the core of the earth was not as big as this one, but the aura emitted by these two trees made him feel that they were very similar. There were many people walking in and out of the huge crack on the tree trunk. Some of them were saint beasts in human form, but there were more humans than saint beasts. This made people feel strange. Hong Sha and Jilinger were already very familiar with the place. They brought Chen Shang light carriage and entered the gigantic transmitting square inside the tree trunk. The transmission array here was free, because all the energy in this place originated from this holy tree, which made Chen Shang feel that it was not bad. After all, after a large force took control of an area, they would charge the same amount of teleportation fees to obtain it. Chen Shang and the other two used the transmission array to go up a thick branch. On top of this branch, there was a small city, about 100,000 people of the same size, and straight branches that were growing diagonally, to the point that one could see the end of it with a glance. In the middle of this thick branch was a wide street, and even though there were a large number of constructs on both sides of the road, it still gave off a very spacious and stable feeling. There were many branches on the second crown of this holy tree, but not every branch could be used to build a city. It looks like there are a lot of them, Chen Shang said in a low voice. He could see the end of the building at a glance, and those long branches could not be seen at the end. This kind of thick and short branches are the most stable. If we want to buy medicinal ingredients, we need to find a person here. At this moment, she and Jilinger had become extremely vigilant. They had already changed their appearances, and they were still wanted. Even if they were to be exposed in the Holy Beast mountain range, it would bring them a lot of trouble. Chen Zhang's current thoughts were all on the highest treetop, because there was a beast king there, so there was a high possibility that Long Shui's Tianlong sword was there. Right now, Long Shui was already using the heaven tour method to investigate. If you want to go to the top floor, what do you need to do? Chen Shang sent a sound transmission to Jilinger and Hong Sha, causing the two girls' delicate bodies to tremble. That's the Eagle Emperor's nest. Legends say that the place above is where the fruits are, and all the fruits are holy fruits. Do you think you can go up there easily? Red Cloud said. Don't worry, I'm just asking. Seeing the two girls being so worried, Chen Shang laughed, and continued to follow the two girls towards a 5-story tall wooden tower. The building rules here are only made of wood, no other materials are allowed. Eagle Emperor, that should be right. That guy is an eagle, Long Shui said. In my impression, that guy was a very eccentric green-haired eagle. Green feathers, they are indeed very rare. Chen Shang asked. Did you find anything? We can't detect it. The top layer of the natural formation is too strong and hard to break through. If you used a spatial teleportation, it should be possible. Long Shui said. Right now, Chen Shang did not have any plans to take action, because Long Shui did not know much about the green-haired eagle and was not certain that the Tianlong sword was still in the hands of the green-haired eagle. Even if it was, the green-haired eagle would probably go back on its words and start attacking him again. Therefore, Chen Shang would not take the risk before he had fully investigated her. His current strength was not weak either. If he also borrowed Long Shui's power, he would be even more terrifying. Even if he faced the Beast King, he could still preserve his life if he couldn't defeat it. We're here, leave the rest to us. If you want to fight, then you can do it. Jilinger sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang. Chen Shang nodded his head, and followed behind the two girls, stepping into the door. The moment they entered, a few strong auras rushed over, and probed back and forth on their bodies, because they were stronger, and thus attracted the attention of some of the stronger guardians inside the tower. "Please come in, my two esteemed guests." An old man walked over with a smile, and spoke extremely politely to Hong Sha and Ji-Ling-er, but Chen Shang was only a follower in his eyes, because looking at their profound spirit qi, Hong Sha and Ji-Ling-er were extremely strong. The status of women was not high to begin with. To be able to become so strong meant that she had a higher position. Even if it was men, after being heavily groomed by powerful forces, they would not have as much strength as Red Cloud and Ji-Ling-er. Hong Sha and Ji-Ling-er merely nodded slightly before walking to a door, bringing Chen Shang to a luxurious living room. "Please wait a moment, the restaurant owner will arrive soon." After the old man finished speaking, he waved his hand, signaling the two seductive girls to pour some tea for Chen Shang and the others, and then left the hall. Chen Shang sized up the two charming girls and discovered that they both had a snow-white tail with fluffy hair. He knew immediately that they were two foxes. No wonder they were so charming at such a young age. It was actually a young man. This young man wore snow-white clothes and wore a long braid that hung down on his chest. Coupled with his handsome white face, he gave off an illusion that he was a girl. The big shopkeeper was actually a youth whose gender was difficult to differentiate. Chen Shang was quite surprised in his heart, but Red Cloud and Ji-Ling-er didn't think much of it. The youth waited for the two fox girls to finish pouring the tea before lightly shouting, "You two may leave." After the fox girl left, the young man smiled at Hong Sha and Ji-Ling-er. That smile was a little deceptive, it made Chen Shang feel very bad. At this time, the young man looked at Chen Shang, and frowned. "Are you still not going to leave?" Ji-Ling-er coldly snorted, "Duke Qing, it's not up to you to order my men around, right?" Seeing Ji-Ling-er's attitude, the teenager named Qing Wang became slightly angry and his expression became slightly cold. "Since you guys are looking for me for a business deal, at least respect me a little. Could it be that you can't use your own appearance?" Chen Shang could already tell that Hong Sha and Ji-Ling-er recognized this Duke Qing, and they even had some conflicts. "We're not here to look for you. We're here to look for the boss. You're just a shopkeeper, why are you being so arrogant?" Ji-Ling-er's sudden anger made him puzzled, and the usually calm Red Cloud did not stop Ji-Ling-er. Long Shui laughed. "This Duke Qing is only a big frog, his strength is a little strong, but there is nothing to be arrogant about." Red Cloud calmly said, "This is the business of a 5 million Jin holy stone. You should quickly go and call your boss over." A 5 million Jin holy stone was a large number, even the powerful head storekeeper couldn't make the decision. "HMPH, don't think that you will be safe in the Holy Beast mountain range, and don't think that you can look down on everyone just because you have a few holy stone. Just you wait." After saying that, he angrily left the living room. Chapter 1633. Seeing the Frog King leave angrily, Chen Shang shook his head and laughed. "This guy has quite the tone you guys have. I was wondering what kind of enmity you have with him, he doesn't look too bad." Ji-Ling-er's beautiful eyes flashed with anger, and she snorted, "Don't just think that he's a little brat, he's actually a 10,000-year-old frog, and both genders eat him. Previously, he did look quite nice, but later on we found out that he's an extremely hypocritical guy, and was almost deceived by him. So that's how it is. It seems that after being seen through by you all, he became flustered and exasperated. One must be careful of this guy." Chen Shang was not afraid of the Frog King, he was just worried that guy would use underhanded means to deal with Ji-Ling-er and Red Cloud. "Yeah, I heard that guy used a lot of insidious methods. We have to be wary of him in the Sacred Beast mountain range, but we don't need to worry too much. He wouldn't dare to use any of those powerful poisons in the holy tree. It would be a death sentence if he were discovered." Red Cloud smiled and took a sip of fragrant tea. Not long after Azure Emperor left, a very amiable-looking old man in gray walked in. He had a benevolent smile on his face that caused people to feel very close to him. It was difficult for them to be wary of him. This old man was the owner of this place. "I heard that you two have brought a lot of holy stone here. If you need anything, just say it." This old man had done business with Red Cloud Ji-Ling-er before, they were purchasing medicinal ingredients back then. "Boss Li, we're here to buy Luyuan azure fruit this time, how long will it take for you to help us get them?" Red Cloud asked. The 6 yuan sky pill was a rather expensive tier 6 immortal pill, it had the assistance of the innate chi and could quickly transform it into saint force. It was very popular among cultivators, and had a very large market. As long as there was this pill, many cultivators that had reached the 9th stage of the immortal becoming realm would buy it even if they went bankrupt, because it would help them become a saint immortal. Boss Lee did not know what they wanted the Luyuan azure fruit for. Looking at his smiling face, he knew that the price would not be low. Previously, the Frog King was not a good person, and Boss Lee even invited him to be a head storekeeper. From this, it could be seen that Boss Lee was not a good person, so Chen Shang did not have any good feelings towards him just because of Boss Lee's kind face. I can get it, but you should be well aware that the Super Holy School has already controlled the high-grade immortal medicine channels during this period of time, so the price, Boss Lee revealed an awkward expression. Jilinger said, just state a price. 15 million kilograms for one. This is the worst kind of Luyuan azure fruit. A perfect Luyuan azure fruit requires 20 million kilograms. Hearing Boss Lee call out such a price, Hongsha and Jilinger frowned. Red Cloud let out a light breath and said, this thing was originally only a few million Jin holy stone. Now, a perfect one has unexpectedly risen to 20 million Jin. Nothing is missing. Boss Lee shook his head and said, it's the same if you go to other places to ask about it. Seeing Boss Lee's determined attitude, Chen Shang knew that there was no longer any room for discussion, and Jilinger and Hongsha's situation was extremely sensitive. If they ran too far, they would definitely be exposed. Chen Shang immediately sent a sound transmission to Hongsha and Jilinger, try to use the lowest price to buy the worst one. Red Cloud asked, you're buying the worst, is that not a problem? That's right, how do you concoct pills at the worst rate? Jilinger said, let's go to another place to take a look. Buy it, I have my ways, Chen Shang said. No one would want the lowest quality Luyuan azure fruit. It might even be below 5 million kilograms. Chen Shang had intended to buy the worst kind of immortal medicine, because the spirit liquid that was condensed from the alive slain method that he cultivated could revive a dying spirit medicine. Hongsha and Jilinger were slightly unwilling. In their eyes, this was just a waste of holy stone. Seeing that they did not say anything, Chen Shang said to Boss Lee, 5 million kilograms of holy stone, sell us the weakest Luyuan azure fruit. Boss Lee was the same as the Frog King, thinking that Chen Shang was just a follower. Brother, you must be joking, the current price of immortal medicine is no longer the same as before, even the weakest Luyuan azure fruits have been able to control the prices. You all should be well aware that with your own strength, Super Holy School has already bought many high-grade immortal medicine stores. Chen Shang said to Hongsha and Jilinger, then let's go somewhere else to take a look. Just as Red Cloud and Jilinger were about to get up, Boss Lee anxiously shouted, sit down, I am not saying that there is no room for discussion. How about 8 million Jin of holy stone? Chen Shang laughed. The worst Luyuan azure fruit must have been left behind a long time ago, because they were not preserved properly, they became very poor. At that time, the price you bought from them must have been very low, giving you 5 million kilograms of holy stone, that's already a very generous price. No matter if it is before or now, you guys will never be able to sell it at this price. Jilinger saw that Chen Shang really wanted that lousy Luyuan azure fruit, and laughed. That's right, there aren't many idiots like us, if you don't want to sell it, then forget it, let's go. Boss Lee, farewell, let's work together again when there's a chance. After speaking, Red Cloud walked towards the door of the living room. Jilinger and Chen Shang followed behind Red Cloud. When they reached the door, Boss Lee just called for them, just as Chen Shang expected. Never mind, I'll just sell it to you guys. Sigh, Boss Lee took out a jade box and opened it. Take a look first. If you want to buy it, don't regret it. When the time comes, I won't return the goods. The Luyuan azure fruit looked wrinkled and lifeless, just like a dried fruit. It was truly poor. If Chen Shang had not insisted on buying it, Red Cloud and Jilinger definitely would not have asked for this kind of immortal fruit. Right now, Red Cloud could only take out 5 million kilogram holy stone and buy this half-dead Luyuan azure fruit. After buying the Luyuan azure fruit, Chen Shang and the rest hurriedly left the tower. As they walked out of the door, the wisp of Chen Zhang's divine soul floating outside saw the Frog King sneering at them from his position on the 3rd floor. This fellow. Seeing the Frog King's deceptive expression, Chen Shang hurriedly told Red Cloud and Jilinger, we are in trouble, I suspect that the Frog King has done something good in the dark. Don't worry, on this holy tree, even if there's trouble, it won't be too much trouble. She had already guessed what the Frog King would do, and all of this was within her and Jilinger's expectations. As expected, when Chen Shang and the others were about to reach the teleportation field at the root of the branch, a large group of people immediately appeared in the middle of the transmitting square. Chapter 1634. The people of Super Holy School would appear here, and also come at Chen Shang and the others. Just by thinking about it, one could tell that it was the Frog King who was laughing merrily just now that had done such a good thing. Don't worry, they won't dare to act rashly on this holy tree. Hong Sha sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang, telling him not to attack. Red Cloud and Jilinger had already changed their appearances, it was just that the Frog King, who was watching them from inside the wooden tower, pointed out the change in Red Cloud and Jilinger's appearances. Even though such a thing had happened, Boss Li did not show any reaction, as if he had already predicted it. This caused Hong Sha and Jilinger to feel extremely furious in their hearts. It seems that Boss Li is interested in the bounty money. Chen Shang transmitted his voice to the two girls and followed behind them as if nothing had happened. The three of them calmly walked towards the teleportation area. The purpose of this group of people was obvious. They had just received the Frog King's sound transmission and knew that the two girls in front of them were Red Cloud and Jilinger. 20 to 30 people rushed forward and surrounded Chen Shang. "What are you guys doing?" Hong Yun said in a low voice. "Aren't you afraid of offending the Eagle Emperor?" The young man leading the group of Super Holy School laughed sinisterly. "A small fight will not alarm the Eagle Emperor, could it be that the two of you can cause a ruckus?" Jilinger and Red Cloud were very strong, but the people from Super Holy School believed that as long as they could catch them in an instant and prevent them from making too much of a noise, they would not disturb the overlord of this holy tree. Chen Shang rubbed his fist and laughed coldly. "Seems like you guys are still afraid of Eagle Emperor. Since that's the case, let's fight to the death and bring that Eagle Emperor out." When Red Cloud and Jilinger heard Chen Zhang's words, they immediately had a bad premonition. When the people of Super Holy School felt that Chen Zhang's body was constantly being used with terrifying coercion, they were greatly shocked in their hearts. They did not expect that the two women, Hong Sha and Jilinger, would actually find such a powerful helper so quickly. Chen Zhang's divine sense surged unceasingly, waves of divine power following his will and turned into an incomparably hot divine power of fire. "Quick, take him down!" The young leader of Super Holy School shouted in shock. Those experts of the Super Holy School were all gods with decent strength, so they were very clear on the terrifying nature of that power. But if they did not stop Chen Shang, with his berserk flame power at this moment, he would definitely be moved to the top of the holy tree. The experts of Super Holy School all brandished their saint weapons. Just as they were about to attack Chen Shang, Chen Zhang's body suddenly exploded out with a burst of flames, and disappeared. Just as everyone was startled, a wave of extremely hot chi suddenly surged from not too far away. Turning their heads to look, they saw that the top of the wooden tower was burning with gas. Chen Shang had actually attacked the wooden tower first. Boss Li was originally gloating, but now his face was filled with anger as he rushed towards the burning wooden tower. This tower was the work of him. There were around 100,000 people on this branch. Seeing the wooden pagoda ignited due to being attacked, they all ran away in fear. One of the elderly shouted, "Eagle Emperor hates it when people use fire here." Seeing that the situation was not good, the people from Super Holy School hastily ran away. Just as they were about to step forward, a majestic pressure suddenly enveloped them, causing them to instantly kneel on the ground as if they were carrying a mountain of 10,000 kilograms. "Don't even think about leaving, you were the ones who wanted to capture us. If the Eagle Emperor appeared, someone else would have to be responsible for this." Chen Zhang's cold voice sounded, and at the same time, a ball of fire flew over. The ball of fire crashed into the Super Holy School's group. It was a man who was struggling and howling due to the holy fire. The one who was burned by the sacred fire was the Frog King. Chen Shang used his spatial energy and came over in an instant. He looked at the Frog King with an ice-cold face. "Don't think that we didn't know you called these guys over. Boss Li, quickly save me. Hurry up and save me, you have a snitch too." The Frog King roared loudly. The flame Chen Shang had released was a strong sacred fire, and in just a moment, it had burned the wooden pagoda. At this moment, thick smoke surged and continuously soared into the sky, and when some of the branches in the distance saw the situation here, they were immediately filled with fear. On one hand, they were shocked by Chen Zhang's strength. On the other hand, they were very afraid in their hearts, and had even forgotten to urge Chen Shang to leave this place quickly. Chen Shang suddenly stared at Boss Li who was far away. he grabbed at the air and grabbed onto space, grabbing onto Boss Lee, then grabbing him from a distance, he threw him towards the Frog King who was rolling on the ground, spitting out a ball of flame, striking towards Boss Lee. Boss Lee was also set on fire by the terrifying holy fire released by Chen Shang, screaming and rolling about. All of you are courting death. You can't blame me for this. Chen Zhang's voice that was filled with killing intent caused the experts in the super holy school to feel a chill down their spines. Although they were all holy immortals, they were all suppressed by the invisible pressure released by Chen Shang. Chen Shang walked towards a middle-aged man and sneered, "You are all super holy school's men, right? Don't worry, I won't kill you." After he finished speaking, he quickly waved his hand, only to see the middle-aged man screaming miserably, his face becoming extremely pale. In Chen Zhang's hand, a bright golden bead appeared. This was the heavenly pill that the middle-aged man condensed in his dantian. It was actually instantly taken out by someone. That middle-aged man did not have a single wound, and his heavenly dance seemed to have been taken out of his body through the air. This was precisely the spatial power Chen Shang had used. The spatial rule spiritual bead he had fused with previously would display its true power with his current strength. Chen Shang kept the heaven pellet and looked at the rest of the people in the super holy school. His cold and fierce gaze made the group of experts in the super holy school shiver. If the heaven pill was taken out, it would be equivalent to crippling the body. Unless there was a supreme divine pill, otherwise, it would take a long time for it to recover. Return to the super holy school and tell your leader that if they do not withdraw their bounty soon, there will be a day when I annihilate the entire super holy school. Chen Zhang's hands suddenly danced in the air, and the group of super holy school people started to scream out. He had already taken out the heaven pills from their bodies at an extremely fast speed. To these experts, it was even more brutal than death. Red Cloud and Jilinger were already drenched in sweat from Chen Zhang's actions. They seemed to think that their heaven pills would be taken out by Chen Shang anytime soon, but they felt an inexplicable sense of excitement in their hearts. They who originally had no one to rely on, were no longer afraid of being bullied by others. Just as Chen Shang was about to attack the Frog King and Boss Lee, an ear-piercing scream came out like thunder. The sound made everyone's heart feel as if something had ruthlessly struck their hearts, making them feel extremely uncomfortable. It really is this guy. This is the big bird that borrowed my Tianlong sword. Long Shui scoffed, "Today, I must make him return the Tianlong sword, or else I must pluck all his bird feathers." Hearing this voice, everyone knew that the Eagle Emperor had appeared. Many of those who did not come to teleport away had a desperate feeling that the end of the world was coming. They were worried that the Eagle Emperor would get angry and kill them all. Chapter 1635. The appearance of the Eagle Emperor caused everyone to feel anxious. Only now did Red Cloud and Jilinger react and send a sound transmission to Chen Shang, telling him to leave quickly. "You guys leave first, it's still too late. I still have some matters to attend to here." On the contrary, Chen Shang urged them to leave quickly. Hong Sha and Jilinger hesitated for a moment, seeing that Chen Shang was not joking, they anxiously rushed towards the teleportation area. With Chen Zhang's current strength, there was no need for them to worry. A gust of wind accompanied by a strong pressure descended from the sky in a grandiose manner, causing even Chen Shang to feel quite a bit of pressure. When the gale appeared, the flames had already been extinguished. A black-faced man wearing a black feathered robe descended slowly from above, exuding a powerful pressure. This man's eyes were extremely sharp, like that of a falcon's. When he looked at the man, he felt like a prey. He felt like he was at the mercy of others. That's right, it's this guy. He's a green-furred eagle. Why is he wearing a black robe now? Could it be that this guy dyed himself black? Long Shui had already ascertained that the big bird who had borrowed her Tianlong sword back then was this Eagle Emperor before his eyes. Eagle Emperor looked around him, then looked at the man lying on the ground and moaned in pain. Seeing that Chen Shang was not afraid at all, he already knew who was doing it. "Don't you know the rules here?" Eagle Emperor looked at Chen Shang and his cold voice carried a clear killing intent. It could be seen that he was extremely angry at this moment, because someone actually disregarded his dignity. Chen Shang said, "I was also forced to do nothing, they were the ones who started it. You don't believe me to ask them, if I encounter something like that, can't I resist? In the end it's still your problem. As the owner of this tree, I can't get any guarantees for my safety, you can't blame me for that." When the Super Holy School and the rest initially saw how furious the Eagle Emperor was, they secretly rejoiced in their hearts, thinking that Chen Shang was really unlucky. Who knew that Chen Zhang's guts were far beyond their imagination, and actually said such arrogant words? The Eagle Emperor frowned, because what Chen Shang said was not without reason. If it was him, he would definitely resist too. In this kind of situation, whoever had some sort of rule to protect themselves was the king, and the person who dared to make a move was indeed his responsibility, and this was something he did not manage properly. All you need to do is answer me, whether or not you are threatening him first. The Eagle Emperor swept his cold eyes across them and looked at the group of people from Super Holy School. Those eagle-like eyes made the group of people forget about their pain. We're just following orders, just as one of them answered. The black feathered robe that Eagle Emperor was wearing suddenly shot out a black feather that flew towards the person who answered just now. After that person was hit by the black feather, he instantly turned into a pile of black powder. Seeing this scene, the rest of the Super Holy School felt a sense of despair, and their bodies immediately turned cold. Fear spread to their entire body, and that kind of feeling was even worse than death for them. Chen Shang laughed coldly. They are Super Holy School's people, they are indeed just following orders, it's just that they are small. You are a dignified Eagle Emperor, what meaning is there to kill these small fry? The reason they dare cause trouble in your territory is because they think that their Super Holy School is much stronger than you. As long as they weren't deaf, they would be able to hear it. However, he was speaking the truth. With his identity as a Eagle Emperor, dealing with these small things would only bring him down the price. He should go to the Super Holy School to seek an explanation. You are just a human, at most you are just a little stronger. Do you think I will be led astray by your nose? The Eagle Emperor was a little angry, and Chen Shang kept talking to him as if she was instructing him. Chen Shang laughed. I don't need to do what I say, but as the master here, if others come to your place to cause trouble, you will only eliminate a few small fries, and will not let the people here feel at ease, so the Super Holy School will underestimate you. Eagle Emperor laughed coldly. You don't need to say it, I already know this. Even though you were forced to take action, my rule is that no one is allowed to make a move on my territory. Not only did you make a move, you even set a fire, so you will still be punished. Originally, Eagle Emperor thought that Chen Shang would be afraid. Before I get punished, I have to get something back. Chen Shang suddenly became serious. He had already confirmed that the Tianlong sword was lent to this Eagle Emperor at that time. Stop being long-winded, you'd better obediently accept the punishment. That way, I will spare your life. Eagle Emperor's face turned ice cold. Is the Tianlong sword still with you? I'm here for a friend. Chen Shang did not dawdle and directly asked for the Tianlong sword. Sure enough, when Eagle Emperor heard the 3 words, Tianlong sword, his expression suddenly changed. Your friend is still alive. Eagle Emperor's face turned serious, but at the same time, he was shocked. He had thought that Long Shui had already died. That's right, she's still alive. The Tianlong sword lent it to you for so long, you should have returned it already, right? Chen Shang said. Eagle Emperor sneered. On what basis should I believe you unless she appears herself? After saying that, a white light flashed by Chen Zhang's side, and a beautiful white-clothed female appeared. Seeing the beautiful face of the lady, Eagle Emperor's face became extremely ugly. I've appeared, quickly return the Tianlong sword to me. Long Shui stretched out her hand and pouted slightly. It was obvious that she was dissatisfied, because the Tianlong sword had been in Eagle Emperor's hands for a long time, so she had clearly lost a lot. The Eagle Emperor looked at Long Shui carefully. His eagle eyes gave off a green glow, and when he saw the green glow in his eyes, Long Shui's face turned cold. Are you looking at my strength? If I wasn't too strong, I wouldn't have returned it. Long Shui said coldly. Eagle Emperor smiled slightly. Your divine deity is really gone. Sorry, I still have something to discuss today. With that, the Eagle Emperor turned into a gust of wind and disappeared, causing Long Shui to become extremely furious. He shouted at the Eagle Emperor. Stupid green hair eagle, you actually dared to act shamelessly. Just you wait, I'll give you 3 days, if you don't return my Tianlong sword, I'll chop off your broken tree. If you can cut it off, then please do so. But if you really can cut it off, then I don't need to return you the Tianlong sword. Eagle Emperor's words made Long Shui flustered and exasperated. She activated her Heaven Tour method to look for traces of her Eagle Emperor. Chapter 1636. Eagle Emperor was very confident in this holy tree. It would even be very difficult for him to cut it down, let alone the others. Long Shui was currently very angry. This Eagle Emperor actually dared to act shamelessly and blatantly. He did not plan to return the Tianlong sword to her. I'll give you one more chance. If you don't return the Tianlong sword to me, you have to bear the consequences. Long Shui shouted angrily, the power of the heavenly dragon on her body continued to surge out along with her anger. The wind blew until the crown of the tree in the middle of the tree started to shake violently. When everyone saw how terrifying the woman was, they immediately fled. The Eagle Emperor was already an extremely powerful existence in their eyes, but the Eagle Emperor did not dare to face Long Shui alone. They had to hide even if they wanted to, which showed just how terrifying this beautiful woman was. As a beast king, the Eagle Emperor was equivalent to a human strong of Lord Stage. He would rather offend Long Shui than return the Tianlong sword to him. You have the guts to come and snatch it. This sword has been with me for so many years and has deep feelings for me. When I use it, it feels like it's connected to my flesh and blood. You can only blame yourself for being irresponsible and not taking it when it expires. Eagle Emperor's voice came from above, causing Long Shui to become even more furious. You green-haired eagle, you're being unreasonable. Long Shui's face suddenly became calm, and I could tell that she was completely enraged. She looked at Chen Shang and shouted, cut off this tree, I want to see if it is a Tianlong sword's treasure or this tree's treasure in his eyes. The holy tree was extremely thick, and it was even larger than several huge mountains. It had grown for so many years, and was as hard as iron. It was truly not easy to cut through. But Chen Shang felt that it could be done. He nodded, I need some time, and I do not wish to be disturbed. Long Shui's expression was solemn. He glared angrily at the sky and said coldly, don't worry, I guarantee that he won't disturb you. Moreover, I will also snatch the Tianlong sword back from his hands. The Eagle Emperor knew that Chen Shang was very powerful. At this moment, he also wanted to see how Chen Shang would break his holy tree. Chen Shang immediately jumped down from the tree branch and landed on the ground. Normally, he was in charge of taking care of the holy tree, so he was extremely strong. Now that he was called over by the Eagle Emperor to deal with Chen Shang, although the tree was very hard to break, the Eagle Emperor did not want anyone to damage the tree, so he sent a few of his subordinates to stop Chen Shang. Long Shui, who was above, split a strand of his divine soul to inspect Chen Zhang's situation, and flew to the crown of the holy tree together with him. Don't even think of getting close to him, Dragon Net. Chen Shang originally wanted to help, but after hearing Long Shui's voice, he knew that he wouldn't need to focus on this matter. Long Shui would help him settle it. Eagle Emperor had sent over 10 giant black eagles, all of them were powerful holy beasts. They were flying over from all directions, but were suddenly enveloped by a light net. The light net's threads were all tiny dragon patterns. They looked extremely powerful, spraying out waves of dragon chi. Chen Shang looked at the light webs in the sky and smiled slightly. He took out the green dragon demon slain broadsword and injected some powerful energy into it, causing the green dragon demon slain broadsword to grow big quickly. As it did so, the blade's body emitted a piercing green light. The deafening dragon roars caused the thick branches of the holy tree to shake frantically, the majestic green dragon blade chi rising up to the sky, causing the people on the tree branches to feel an indescribable fear, and they all left the holy tree through the transmission array. Why would the green dragon demon slain broadsword appear here? Seeing that the green dragon demon slain broadsword was getting bigger, and that the blade aura was filled with killing intent, the Eagle Emperor was shocked. He suddenly felt that the aura was very familiar, but also felt that it was a little strange. Heaven-Earth killing method, this is the killing power of the heaven and earth. Eagle Emperor never thought that Chen Shang would be so secretive. Not only did he have his own green dragon demon slain broadsword, he also cultivated the Heaven-Earth killing method. Quickly stop! Eagle Emperor suddenly roared out, releasing a sharp roar, the sound waves transforming into a powerful force, rushing straight into the ground, striking towards Chen Shang. Celestial Dragon Cover. Long Shui had guaranteed that she wouldn't be disturbed by this. Seeing the Eagle Emperor make a move, she released the power of her heavenly dragon form into a transparent dragon, coiling around Chen Shang and forming a protective shield. The terrifying sound wave released by the Eagle Emperor struck onto Long Shui's Sky Dragon barrier and actually bounced back, with the direction of its rebound being controlled by Long Shui. She controlled the sound wave's power, which did not weaken in the slightest, and rushed towards the first treetop, instantly eliminating tens of thick branches. The branches fell down like mountain ranges, rumbling and falling to the ground, causing the ground to shake. The rumbling sound seemed as if it was going to split the sky. Only now did Eagle Emperor realize that he had underestimated the strength of Long Shui and Chen Shang. especially Long Shui, who was so strong even without his divine deity. Green Hawk, I've found you. Wen was attacking Chen Shang. She had locked onto his position, and then rushed up, instantly arriving at the top of the holy tree, standing on a tree branch, facing Eagle Emperor. At this time, Chen Zhang's green dragon demon-slain broadsword had become very long, and could already cut through the thick trunk of the holy tree. Your precious holy tree is about to be chopped apart. Don't you feel the slightest bit of heartache? Long Shui asked. In her hand she held a white dragon sword. It was her white dragon sword. HMPH, no matter what, I won't give you the Tianlong sword. Eagle Emperor's face was full of determination as he said coldly, if you have the guts, then cut down the holy tree. Long Shui clenched his teeth, and said angrily, fine, I don't need any more Tianlong sword, I want to capture you alive, torture you for millions of years, isn't it just a bunch of broken Tianlong sword, it's fine if you don't want them. Seeing Long Shui's current state, he knew that she had made up her mind. Eagle Emperor was unavoidably worried, and immediately calculated that for the sake of the Tianlong sword, the holy tree was gone, and he might even be captured to torture. Thinking about it, he didn't feel that it was worth it. Stop, I will give you the Tianlong sword, hurry up and tell that guy down there to stop. The Eagle Emperor avoided Long Shui's swift and fierce sword and shouted. Although Long Shui was the heavenly dragon supreme lord, and the green-furred eagle was the ruler here, when facing such a high and mighty sky dragon, he still felt a lot of pressure. Furthermore, Long Shui's current strength was even stronger than his previous divine deity. You bastard, why didn't you act like this earlier? Long Shui scoffed, and immediately sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang, telling him to stop his attack. Chapter 1637. It was not easy to grow it to this extent. Receiving Long Shui's sound transmission, he immediately withdrew his hand and flew up, following Long Shui's aura to the top of the tree branch. Only now did Eagle Emperor attach great importance to Chen Shang. He faintly felt that Chen Shang was much more terrifying than him. He never thought that after he had isolated himself for so long, such an extraordinary person had actually appeared. Where did your green dragon demon-slain broadsword come from, and your heaven-earth killing method? If there's only one of these things, it would be normal. But now that it's with you, it definitely isn't a coincidence. Eagle Emperor asked. Cut the crap, hurry up and take out the Tianlong sword. All of the stuff on this brat's body was given to him by Qi Shi, and now Qi Shi has resurrected. Long Shui laughed coldly. Of course, if you're afraid of death, you can sell your soul to the Hell Devil Emperor and exchange it for an eternal life. No one will look down on you. Eagle Emperor snorted, took out a sword and threw it to Long Shui. Now we owe each other nothing, leave quickly, I do not want to see you two again. Chen Shang looked at the sword in his hand carefully. It looked like a wooden sword, but it did not have any threatening aura, nor any kind of terrifying sword chi. No matter how he looked at it, it seemed to be a wooden sword carved from ordinary wood, but he could tell from Long Shui's expression that this truly was the head of the Seven Dragons sword. HMPH, I also don't want to see you again. I didn't expect your character to be so bad. If I knew earlier, I wouldn't have lent you the Tianlong sword. Let's go. Long Shui withdrew his Tianlong sword and left the holy tree with Chen Shang. After leaving the holy tree far behind, Long Shui entered the serene jade ring and asked Chen Shang to take out the other Seven Dragons sword. Chen Shang still needed a bit more time to return to Red Cloud and Jilinger's cave. Right now, all of the Seven Dragons sword had been collected, so he was very curious about what would happen. Is that wooden sword really a Tianlong sword? Chen Shang asked. Can you let me see? I haven't touched it yet. Of course, this Tianlong sword is no longer a holy sword, it should be a divine sword. I don't usually use it. Long Shui released the Tianlong sword. The moment he held it, he knew that the wooden sword was not ordinary. He waved it a few times, and at the same time, poured his divine power into it, but it was not as smooth as he had expected. When his divine power entered the Tianlong sword's body, it was blocked by something, and his divine power was not able to circulate smoothly. It really is difficult to use. Any celestial sword is not that difficult. Chen Shang returned the Tianlong sword to Long Shui and asked, put the Seven Dragons sword together and see what reaction you have. Long Shui said, I'll try it now. After a while, Long Shui let out a dejected sigh. What's wrong, is there no response from the Seven Dragons sword together? Chen Shang hurriedly asked. Hearing Long Shui's sigh, he also felt disappointed. There's a reaction, but it's not like what we imagined. When the 7 dragons' sword is together, the 7 sealed dragon souls inside will fuse together and the spirit grain inside the holy sword will float out and then combine together. However, it doesn't last long. Long Shui replied. Then what's going on? Chen Shang frowned as he thought about it. I feel that the 7 dragons' sword can only be effective when placed on something. I'll play a bit more with it and see if I can find that thing. Long Shui said. Chen Shang did not directly return to the cave that Red Cloud and the others were in. In order to prevent being followed by the Eagle Emperor, he changed his appearance and traveled through space several times before finally arriving at the mountain. Red Cloud and Jilinger had already returned home a long time ago. When Chen Shang arrived at the door, he immediately used his spatial energy to enter. Seeing that Chen Shang had returned, Hongsha and Jilinger heaved a sigh of relief. Before they left, they heard the Eagle Emperor's whistle that resonated through countless of mountains and rivers. I'm fine. Chen Shang lightly slapped the 2 girls' faces and laughed. We can start concocting pills now. Super Holy School has raised the price of many high-grade immortal pills to such a high level. If we can concoct them, the price would be very low, and we would be able to sell them very well. Jilinger stuck out his tongue. We only have a half-dead Luyuan azure fruit right now. Do you think that the Luyuan azure dan is beans or something? Chen Shang laughed but did not speak. In his eyes, they were indeed the same. Don't run around during this period of time. When I come out, all of you stay here to cultivate for a while. It should be very chaotic outside. If nothing unexpected happens, the Eagle Emperor will definitely be bribed by the Hell Devil Emperor. Chen Shang said. Hongsha and Jilinger were very curious about what Chen Shang had done at the holy tree, but they did not ask because Chen Shang had become more and more mysterious in their eyes. Chen Shang entered the secret room and took out the low-quality Luyuan azure fruit. He cut it in half and placed it inside a jade bowl, then took out a small jade bottle and dripped some spirit liquid onto the 2 halves of the immortal fruit. After using 2 drops, the originally terrible Luyuan azure fruit became 2, and the quality was very good. I never thought that using the immortal fruit would have such a good effect. In the future, I have to ask Kilian for more of her spirit liquid. The bottle in Chen Zhang's hand had been fused with his and LV Kilian's spirit liquid. Moreover, LV Kilian had mixed it with water before. If you don't add some holy water to dilute it, you can use it directly on the holy fruit. I really want to try it. Long Shui said. Taste your ass. You have already eaten so many sacred heart fruit. Do you still have any interest in these immortal fruits? Chen Shang scolded. He cut the 2 Luyuan azure fruit open, cut them into 4½ pieces, and dripped them into the spirit liquid. Very quickly, he obtained 4 of them. If only Sister Meiyao was here. I missed her so much. In the past, when Chen Shang refined a new type of pill, he would always have Su Meiyao to guide him. Little scoundrel, you want to do that kind of shameful thing with her, hee hee. Long Shui laughed sinisterly. I understand. Chen Shang snorted. He took out the Yanlong furnace and poured the fire inside it. He heated up the pill furnace first and prepared to start concocting the pills. Not only did he become a saint, he also possessed the condensed divine deity. His control over all aspects was very strong. Even if he tried to concoct pills himself, he had great confidence in himself. His goal was to concoct pills. If he couldn't even get the immortal pills, then he wouldn't be able to become a pill saint. Chapter 1638. There were only 1 or 2 types of Tier 6 immortal pills. For example, the more common Tier 6 immortal pills were the Luyuan Azure Dan. The high Tier 1 immortal pills were very flexible, and that usually depended on the alchemist. According to the alchemist's experience and abilities, they could use some rare immortal medicines to concoct some useful immortal pills, which could be considered self-created. Because high-grade immortal medicines were few, they could be used to concoct pills. The uses of the immortal pills would be decided by the combination of the alchemist's, which would test the abilities of the alchemist. Of course, if there were a few more Luyuan Azure fruit, the 6th rank Dan immortal would not try some of the pill formulas that no one had tried before. Right now, Chen Shang had many Luyuan Azure fruit. If he could refine a large number of them, it would be a huge impact to the sanctuary, especially for the medicine industry. Chen Shang had a lot of experience in pill refining. According to the special characteristics of the Luyuan Azure fruit, he could roughly guess the level of flame that he needed. The Luyuan Azure Dan could be refined using only 1 Luyuan Azure fruit, but this was only Chen Zhang's method of refinement. If it was refined by other alchemists, in order to ensure its success, they would even add a few supplementary medicinal ingredients, which was also a huge expense. The supplementary medicinal ingredients used were all over 10,000 years old. When Chen Shang was refining pills, because he was cultivating the alive slain method, he was able to infuse some of the special spirit liquid energy, which could be used as supplementary medicine. The Luyuan azure fruit was being burned by Chen Zhang's sacred fire inside the pill furnace. Not long later, the surface of the immortal fruit cracked, and the green energy that surged out actually burned up after touching the sacred fire, causing two types of flames to appear inside the pill furnace. One was his sacred fire, and the other was the Luyuan azure fruit's azure fire. What's going on? The energy inside the Luyuan azure fruit can actually be burned. Chen Shang was very surprised, but according to his judgment, if he allowed the green flames to burn again, it would consume all the energy in the immortal fruit. He immediately released his divine power and penetrated into the green flames to search for the burning energy, and then mixed in some divine power to change the nature of the energy, preventing it from burning again. After controlling it, Chen Shang heaved a sigh of relief, but not long after, the cracked immortal fruit spouted out another wave of energy. This time a mixture of green and purple flames appeared in the pill furnace. It's coming again. What's wrong with the Luyuan azure fruit? It's made of fire, right? Why does it have so many colored flames? Chen Shang used the method just now to control it. This kind of fruit can turn the innate qi into holy energy, so it can produce 6 different colored flames. These flames are all holy flames, but their power is very small and unique, so they can refine the innate qi into holy energy in an extremely gentle manner. Quote, Chen Shang thought for a while, then stopped controlling the strange flames that were leaking out, but released a barrier inside the pill furnace instead, enveloping all of the flames inside. Even if the flames burned with energy, the final amount of energy would not dissipate. Now, what Chen Shang needed to do was to speed up the refining of the Luyuan azure fruit, and let the Luyuan azure fruit get burned by the flames. The quality would become even higher. Every immortal fruit costs 20 million kilograms of holy stone. If it's a pill, the price will at least double, and that is 40 million kilograms of holy stone. We can sell it for 30 million kilograms of holy stone and it will be sold very quickly. Long Shui laughed. As long as you refine a dozen or so, and sell them all, you will have a lot of holy stone. This was not difficult for Chen Shang at all, but Hongsha and Jilinger did not think so. They did not know how heaven-defying the spirit liquid that Chen Shang had cultivated the alive slain method was, and felt that Chen Shang would be able to make a huge profit just by refining one pill. Chen Zhang's current goal was only to make a breakthrough into the divine pills and earn some holy stone as well. Not good. Chen Shang, who was initially progressing relatively smoothly, suddenly frowned, beads of perspiration trickling down his forehead, only to see the Yanlong furnace suddenly tremble. Chen Shang anxiously opened the lid of the Yanlong furnace, only to see colorful flames shooting out from inside with a strong medicinal smell. Swallow that flame, Chen Shang shouted to Long Shui. Long Shui immediately appeared in the secret room, and quickly absorbed the 6-colored flame. After that, he returned to the quiet jade ring and asked, "What's going on? I failed." Chen Shang shook his head. It can only be considered a failure. I did not expect the fire inside the Luyuan azure fruit to be so strong. The moment I was about to completely refine it, the flame that suddenly exploded out was too strong. It caught me off guard and I had no choice but to release some of it, otherwise I would have failed. So you can go on now. Long Shui laughed. If you had let me taste one first, this might not have happened. Chen Shang sighed. We can continue, but we can only condense one pill. If we don't lose those, the 3 Luyuan azure danas will definitely not be a problem. It was already quite good for a Luyuan azure fruit to refine 3 pellets, at least not in this sacred domain. The more high-level the pellet, the more benefit it had in this aspect. Even if he did not know how to condense that type of heaven-defying spirit liquid that could replicate medicinal ingredients, just based on the quantity of the pellet, it would be sufficient for him to be like a fish in water. While Chen Shang was refining the pellet, something big happened outside, but that was within Chen Shang and Long Shui's expectations. The Eagle Emperor had announced that they would ally with the Super Holy School, and even though that was the case, the other big shots of the sanctuary knew that the Eagle Emperor had promised the Hell Devil envoys to join them. The Strong Beast Emperor had joined the Super Holy School, causing the Super Holy School to become even more powerful. Many of the strong powers, who had not been annexed by the Super Holy School, felt a lot of pressure at this moment because they knew very well the Super Holy School's ambition. If they did not have the strong power to stop the Super Holy School, the Super Holy School would dominate the entire sacred region sooner or later. The leader didn't give up at this moment, and continued to search for Jilinger and Red Cloud. This was because Jilinger knew Chen Shang, who had the Green Dragon Demon Slain broadsword, but Red Dawn had the Holy Spirit fire. 3 days and 3 nights passed. Originally, Chen Shang thought that he would only need a day to refine the Luyuan Azure Dan, but when he was refining, he encountered many problems. When he was carefully processing the Luyuan Azure Dan, he needed a lot of time. He had gained a lot in these 3 days. At least, he successfully refined a Luyuan Azure Dan and did not waste the Luyuan Azure fruit. Chapter 1639. Chen Shang was currently refining a high-level immortal pill. It was equivalent to walking the stairs to the top, steadily advancing step by step. I didn't expect this pill to be so expensive. Chen Shang held a cyan-colored Luyuan Azure Dan, and such a small pellet could be sold for 50 million kilograms. This is the price that has skyrocketed by several times. If this was a normal price, many powers would be able to afford it. Long Shui said, if you could sell a few pills, you would definitely be able to make a huge profit. This is all because of that super holy school. Chen Shang laughed and took out another Luyuan Azure fruit, preparing to refine medicine. When he had previously heard that Super Holy School controlled the price of medicinal pellets, he had already thanked Super Holy School in his heart. If not for Super Holy School, the current Luyuan Azure Dan would never have been able to buy pills at such a high price. There were still 19 Luyuan Azure fruit left. Chen Shang wanted to turn all these immortal fruits into immortal pills, and with his experience of success, he would be able to relax a lot. Before he was extremely familiar with refining a type of pill, it would not be an easy task. Chen Shang estimated that if he wanted to perfectly refine a cauldron of pills, it would still take 2 to 3 days. For him, this could be considered a slow speed, but for the other Dan Immortal S, to refine a batch of Luyuan Azure Dan, they would need at least 10 days. Most of them would need at least 1 to 2 months to be able to refine a batch, thus his current speed was extremely terrifying. Chen Shang spent the same amount of time as before to concoct the second batch of pills in 3 days and 3 nights. But this time, he still was not able to concoct a single batch perfectly, and some small mistakes occurred during the process, which resulted in a lot of leakage of energy. In the end, he could only condense 2 Luyuan Azure Dan pills, and if there were no errors, he could concoct 3 pellets. In order to become familiar with refining Luyuan Azure Dan, Chen Shang didn't rest at all and stayed in the secret room to refine pills. In the blink of an eye, more than a month had passed, he had already used 10 Luyuan Azure Fruit S to refine a total of 25 Luyuan Azure Fruit. Now we can go out and enjoy ourselves. Chen Shang smirked and walked out of the secret room. Every time he came out of the secret room, he always had Jilinger and Red Cloud, the 2 beauties to take care of him. However, he was disappointed when he came out this time because Red Cloud and Jilinger were in closed-door cultivation, so he could only do it himself. He took out some Holy Spirit's water and placed it in the bath, soaking himself in it, and then removing the fatigue that he had accumulated over the past few days. Where are you planning to sell those Luyuan Azure Dan? Long Shui laughed. Selling all of them is a huge number of holy stone. In this absolute monarch sanctuary, there are not many powers that can afford to eat all of them. Chen Shang was comfortably bathing in the bath. He had thought about this before. I don't plan to sell it to the Divine Feather School because I'm familiar with it, so it's not easy to get a high price. I plan to sell some of it and use it to exchange for some herbs needed to concoct a grade 7 immortal pill. Chen Shang said. Feng Yuji was a pill master. Her Divine Feather School must have stored all these high-grade immortal medicines, they could definitely refine them themselves. There was no lack of Luyuan Azure Dan, adding on to the fact that they were familiar with each other, it would definitely not be easy to sell them to Divine Feather School for such a crazy price. I can only wait for those 2 beauties to come out. Chen Shang walked out of the bath, put on his clothes, and sat in the hall to wait patiently. He did not want to refine pills right now at this moment, so he needed to calm down after concocting pills for more than a month. When he had nothing else to do, he used the Heaven Tour method and let his spirit wander around, looking at his surroundings. It was dusk. He had wanted to see the sunset, but as soon as his soul left the cave, he realized something was wrong. Why are there so many bats? Chen Shang frowned. These bats are no ordinary bats. In the past, there aren't any here, and moreover, there is a very evil energy in their bodies. Long Shui said, I'll go out and take a look. She also used her Heaven Tour method to look at the bat that Chen Shang was talking about. This type of bat should be from hell. Its name is Hell Devil Bat, and it's a vampire bat. Long Shui took a deep breath. If there were enough of them, then if a normal immortal met them, he would be sucked into the pit within an instant. In addition, this Hell Devil Bat has another ability, and that is to search for people. In addition, this Hell Devil Bat has another ability, and that is to search for people. Chen Shang said, "It seems like these Hell Devil Bats are used to search for us. This place is full of them, I wonder who released them. Is there any way to prevent these things from being detected?" "These things can't detect you, but it's hard to say for Red Cloud and Jilinger. Even if these underworld devil bats are far away, they can still smell the scent of fresh blood." Long Shui said, "It could be the Eagle Emperor who sent them, or perhaps they are the leaders of the Super Holy School. They don't have the blood aura of those two little girls, so they shouldn't be able to find them, right?" Chen Shang said, he was not afraid of these Hell Devil Bats. "It's hard to say. If they used it or stayed in it, it would have left behind a weak scent of blood. As long as Master can sense it, it can reach all the Hell Devil Bats." Long Shui said, "You should prepare yourself. Being entangled by these underworld devil bats is not a good thing." Chen Shang and Long Shui's souls were outside, and when the sky was completely dark, they suddenly realized that there were more and more Hell Demon Bats gathered here. They discovered us so quickly. Chen Shang took out his devil-suppressing mirror using the demon-suppressing equipment to deal with this kind of evil thing was the most effective. Long Shui said, "You should wake them up first, they have already discovered us, it won't be long before those powerful fellows arrive here." Chen Shang nodded and rushed to knock on the door. Hong Sha and Jilinger did not stay in their room for too long, they woke up very quickly. When they opened the door and saw Chen Zhang's serious expression, they knew that something had happened. "There's a large group of Hell's magic bats outside. They're like dogs that are specially used to search for people. We should have already been discovered by now. Very soon, very strong people will arrive." Chen Shang cut a long story short. "Then what do we do now?" She and Jilinger were not nervous either, because they knew that Chen Shang would definitely have a way to fix it. Chen Shang laughed and said, "I'll temporarily stay inside one of my treasures. It's very beautiful inside." Both Red Cloud and Jilinger had no objections, so Chen Shang placed them into the ring. Long Shui, who was inside, also did not avoid them, but continued to brag with them. Before Red Cloud and Jilinger entered, Chen Shang separately asked them for 2 drops of blood. Using his spatial energy, he placed the 2 drops of blood in the depths of the cave, and then used a spatial travel technique to quietly leave the cave. Chen Shang did not leave the place for a long time as he hid outside. He wanted to see who exactly controlled these underworld devil bats. Chapter 1640. You and I can't be a problem to deal with the Eagle Emperor together, but if there's one more Super Holy School from the Super Holy School or some other powerful fellow, it'll be difficult. Long Shui could see through Chen Zhang's thoughts. He was waiting for the strong warriors who were controlling the underworld devil bats to come over, hiding at the side to find an opportunity to make a move. Chen Shang said, "It doesn't matter, as long as they are still here, I will meet them sooner or later." Not long after, the number of Hell's magic bats in the sky increased, and the light of the moon and stars shrouded the sky, causing the entire area to be shrouded in darkness. There may seem to be a lot of these Hell Devil bats, but they are all very precious, and they are all adults. To grow to this point, it would take at least 10,000 years, and these types of Hell Devil bats would usually be led by a Hell Bat King. Long Shui said, "Hell Bat King isn't weak either, he's as powerful as the Hell Dragon, and even stronger than them." Chen Shang chuckled, "Eagle Emperor must have joined the Hell Devil Emperor, so these underworld devil bats should have been borrowed from him and the leader. If we kill more than half of them, it would be hard for them to explain themselves." The Hell Devil bats were all circling in the air, emitting an eerie sound that sent chills down one's spine. "Oh! He's coming!" Long Shui shouted lightly. "Eagle Emperor has indeed come. Other than Eagle Emperor, there are 3 other fellows with very strong strengths, all of them are on par with Eagle Emperor." Chen Shang nodded. "One of them is definitely the leader of the Super Holy School." Even in the dark of the night, he could clearly see the few people standing at the entrance of the cave. Other than the Eagle Emperor, the other 3 were indeed very strong, and one of them had a pair of bat wings on his back. Other than Eagle Emperor and Hell Bat King, there was also a white-robed elderly man and a black-clothed middle-aged man. That white-robed elderly man was Super Holy School. Hong Sha and Jilinger had once described his appearance. "Who else is there?" Chen Shang was suspicious, and the middle-aged man in black then told Hong Sha and Jilinger. After Hong Sha and Jilinger heard this, their expressions changed slightly. Who is that guy? Long Shui asked anxiously. The Fox Emperor is a monster emperor. It's very normal for someone as cunning as him to be bought by the Hell Devil Emperor. Red Cloud said. However, they felt that it was very normal after thinking about it. This was because the Eagle Emperor saw Long Shui and Chen Shang as having the same strength as them. In order to be absolutely safe, it would be better to have a few more strong warriors. Eagle Emperor and the other three stood outside the cave, not entering. They were discussing something. According to the information I received, the man holding the green dragon demon slain broadsword came from Nine Heaven World, so I am not too clear about his strength. However, there are many tricks, he knows about Heaven Earth killing method, and he has grasped many powerful weapons. The Hell Bat King said. The Eagle Emperor nodded his head. Someone who can obtain green dragon demon slain broadsword and can also control Heaven Earth killing method is definitely not simple. We must not underestimate him, and there is also that white dragon, who is known as Heavenly Dragon Supreme Lord back then, and is also very strong. Super Holy School looked at Hell Bat King and asked, "Are you sure they are inside?" Hell Bat King did not answer immediately. Instead, he closed his eyes to sense the surroundings. When he opened his eyes, there were some doubts on his face. I can sense the blood chi of the two women. Are they Chen Zhang's or Bai Long's? The Fox King replied, "This is not strange. Their concealing ability is very strong. I can also prevent you from sensing the blood aura. As long as you are sure that the two little girls are inside, it will be fine." Hell Bat King was still vigilant in his heart. He said, "We already agreed that we will only bring you guys here, we won't go in. That Chen Zhang's green dragon demon slain broadsword and those techniques and treasures he has to restrain the evil spirits are very strong, I don't want to face a guy like him." "That's good. The three of us will go in. You just stay outside and watch. Just don't let them get away." He really wanted the Holy Spirit fire of the Red Dawn, and it was right in front of him now. Although Chen Shang and Long Shui were a threat, they felt that with their tens of thousands of years of cultivation, it wouldn't be difficult for them to catch the Red Dawn. The one who broke through the door was Eagle Emperor. Although the cave had a powerful array formation, the Eagle Emperor's claws just instantly shattered. Fox King and Super Holy School's leader immediately rushed in with Eagle Emperor following closely behind. The chance has come. Chen Zhang's heart was in ecstasy. He anxiously crossed the space and arrived at the entrance of the cave. At the same time, he took out a small pagoda shining with holy light. This was the demon god suppressing pagoda. Chen Shang suddenly injected a surge of devil-suppressing magic power into the divine tower, causing it to immediately become extremely large. Following Chen Zhang's control, the tower instantly pressed down towards Hell Bat King. The Hell Bat King reacted very quickly. He could sense the spatial ripples in the surroundings, and immediately flew into the air, but Chen Zhang's demon god suppressing pagoda was extremely powerful. Under the control of Chen Zhang's spatial energy, the demon god suppressing pagoda instantly moved, passing through space, following Chen Zhang's divine sense and chasing after the fleeing Hell Bat King. He was especially afraid of Chen Shang. When he went to Nine Heaven World, he had long heard of Chen Zhang's mighty name. As long as it was an evil demon, there was no one who wasn't afraid of the things that Chen Shang had on him. "You can't run away, haha." Chen Shang laughed out loud. The demon god suppressing pagoda generated a strong suction force that became as huge as a mountain, causing the Hell Bat King and a large group of hell demon bats to be sucked in through the window. All of these things happened extremely quickly, and only now did the three people know when Chen Shang had grabbed the Hell Bat King. When they walked out of the cave, it was quiet outside. The horde of bats that had covered the moon and the stars had disappeared, and when the light of the stars and moon shone down, they would occasionally fly past one or two clouds, and the Hell Bat King had also disappeared. In the blink of an eye, Hell Bat King and the numerous hell demonic bats disappeared without a trace. Eagle Emperor and the others only felt that it was extremely strange. Through the remnant energy aura, they could clearly feel the strong devil-suppressing magic power. It was Chen Shang who did it. This fellow is really cunning. What do we do now? Hell Bat King was captured by him. Hell Devil Envoy will definitely laugh at us. The Fox Emperor's face was filled with anger. He had actually been tricked by Chen Shang. Right now, their only gain was that they knew that Chen Shang and Long Shui's strength were not very terrifying. They did not dare to face them, and only dared to secretly attack Hell Bat King. After Chen Shang used the demon god slaying pagoda to capture Hell Bat King and all the hell demon bats, he teleported far away. At this moment, he was hiding in a cave and laughing. The Hell Bat King and the millions of Hell Devil bats are great tonics. They contain a lot of pure and strong blood, you can refine them into high-level blood cores. Long Shui laughed.